West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast. West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.
Yes, we're here. It's a live call-in show. Welcome to the Monday night call-in show. I'm one half of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, Machel St. Patrick Hewitt. Before we move any further on, like the video, share the video, send this live to your aunties, to your uncles, to your grand pitney, to your granny, to Mas Errol. Send it to everybody. This is a historic day in West Indies cricket. Despite it being the down bad era, we've seen this team in the midst of the down bad era pick up 2 historic wins in the space of a year. Literally a year ago, this side went to Australia at the Gabba, won a famous test match. A year later, we've gone to Multan in Pakistan and won a famous test match. We got to celebrate, we got to discuss, but this can't go long today. This can't go long. And the reason why this one can't go long, I've started this one early today. Normally this starts like at 10 o'clock, 10:15, 10:30, but I need to go to bed. And I'm being serious as well, because some of you love call in and just chat. We ain't got time for the chat today, because I got to go to my bed. I've been up since 4:30 in the morning, gone and done a whole day's work. I need to go to bed. So if you are calling in today, I beg you make it quick. I beg you just get to the point quickly and say what you got to say. We must celebrate, yes. And anyone who's got their 1-2 juice with them, drink up your juice and celebrate. But no drunk talk. There's other platforms and forums for the drunk talk. Just come make your point and let's reason and let's move on. So let me do my opening monologue part. What did I feel about today? I mean, thing is, people get CCP twisted. I get a lot of people messaging me, usually in the comments, sometimes privately, saying, "Oh, you and Santoki, you joke around too much. You need to uplift the guys more. You're too harsh. This, that, and the third." And I've never ever apologized for it, and I'm not about to start. I'm not about to start now. And the reason why I don't apologize for it is because I rally. And for me, 2 things can be correct at the same time, right? I can both have a very sober, realistic view of the state of West Indies cricket, but rally all the same. I've got up at 4:30 every single day of this test series that the match has been on. So I will always rally, no matter what. And with that, and the thing is, this is the thing about fandom or media or journalism, or call it what you want. Everyone has their right to their opinion. In the same way how somebody will turn around to CCP and say, "You two, you need to shut your mouth," and this, that. Everyone's got the right to their opinion. I can't fight it down. And then therefore, in return, CCP will say what we need to say. As it stands, it's a fantastic win. Let's deal with the positives of it. I'm never a revisionist. I'm never going to be the person who turns around and tries to lie about what I said or what I predicted before the series started. I put my hands up. I said before the series started, if Pakistan put on ranked turners, West Indies will likely lose 2-0. I did not foresee the option that Pakistan would put on such a ranked turner that they would fall into their own trap. I didn't actually foresee that. I assumed before the series started that West Indies batting would not hold up under pressure. And to be fair, I don't think it did until the last innings of the second test. I actually don't think it did. Even in this test match, like, it's ridiculous to remember that we were 38 for 7 at one point on day one. And thanks to the last 3, Multi, Warwick and Roach, we somehow managed to scramble our way up to what was this total in the end? 163. So, I don't. The thing is, I don't know where the line is. If you have a team, let's look at Pakistan for a second. If you have a team 38 for 7 on the first day of the test match and you still lose that test match, we can both praise West Indies and say we're up and we're so happy, and we all are. We all are, and we all have a right to be. But you can at the exact same time look at Pakistan and say, you lot are down bad. Like, you're down bad even more than I thought West Indies were down bad. Like, if that was West Indies and we had a team 38 for 7 and we still managed to lose a test match, we would be cussing, saying, how could you possibly contrive to lose from such a position? But that's why Pakistan are Pakistan. And that's ultimately why Pakistan have finished bottom of the World Test Championship. The World Test Championship's a waste of time. It's a foolishness competition, right? It don't make no sense. But I still don't want West Indies to end bottom of it. And I think it's telling that the team that has ended bottom is the team that had West Indies 38 for 7 and still couldn't win the test match. That alone tells me you should be bottom of the World Test Championship. So Pakistan have a whole myriad of issues to sort out. And if there ever was, like Joel's just put up, if there ever was any kind of inclination to have tier 2 cricket or whatever, Pakistan must join us there. They must join us there, because that's ridiculous. They're down horrendous, down horrid. But as for the West Indies, you've got to focus on the West Indies. Obviously, the tail end, Multi. Well, I think we said it earlier on the recorded show we did earlier on. Like up that recorded show, run up the views and the likes. Last I checked, it was on 9,000 already views. But as we said earlier on, myself and Santoki, Multi was the top run scorer in the series for the West Indies, and he took 7 wickets at 26. Warrican was our second highest run scorer, right? And he took 19 wickets at 9. Let's just pause and hear what I just said. Gudakesh Multi and Jamel Warrican were our top 2 run scorers. Gudakesh Multi and Jamel Warrican were our top 2 run scorers in the series. And they were our top 2 wicket takers. And the thing is, like, bunning up my eyes, man. And the thing is, that's fantastic. And we have to praise them, and we have to say, well done, Warrican, well done, Multi. But what on earth? What on earth? And this is why, as happy as I am and as brilliant as the victory was, there's still a lot of work to do. I've been on social media most of today, right? And there's a whole, should I even talk the talk? There is such a desire. Thing is, when I talk the talk, people get upset. When I talk the realness and say what people aren't willing to hear, people get upset and say, oh, Mash, you've gone too far. You shouldn't be saying those things. There is a real... I'm trying to control myself. There is a real desire there. That's a politically correct term. There is a real desire in cricket media and cricket fandom to romanticize the West Indies. Like it's like a burning passion and desire. I'm not talking about people from the Caribbean now. I'm talking about those from outside. I'm talking about people who aren't of Caribbean extract. I'm talking about people who aren't people of the soil, right? There is a real desire to romanticize who we are, what we are. Soon as we won that test match, I click on 1-2 links, and all I'm seeing is the usual lazy bullshit. West Indies are back. West Indies have turned a corner. West Indies spin kings. I saw nonsense today like Craig Brathwaite and under Craig Brathwaite and Jason Holder, West Indies have won more tests than they ever won under Lara, Gale, Sammy. And I'm looking at this type of stuff going, allow it, innit? Like, allow that. Stop it. Stop it. Go talk about your own teams. Go talk about your own soil and your own mandem. Stop Stop projecting your romanticism and lazy context-less analysis onto us. I find that stuff more painful, actually. I find that stuff more patronizing. Like, leave us alone. Leave us alone. Let us just develop and do our thing without it always having to be some kind of romanticization of who the West Indies are and what does this mean for world cricket, and cricket needs a strong West Indies. Allow all that dead talk. Just analyze the series in and of itself. That it's possible to just do that. Analyze it in and of itself. Analyze the West Indies team, this West Indies team, not no 1980s team, not no 1990s, not no 1970s, not even early 2000. Analyze these men in and of themselves and their journey and what they're doing and where we're going right now. And this is the problem. This is the problem when you don't have West Indian voices in the media. We allow people, now I'm going to get political. We as a people are too easy. It's too easy for people to tell our story. Listen again. Listen again if you didn't hear that one. We as a people allow others to tell our story. What, you didn't think I wasn't going to drop a sermon today? You didn't think? We got to stop letting people try to define who we are, what we be, what our story is. You lot aren't ready for this one. You aren't ready for this one. Anyways, people, let's go on to the cricket. Let's go on to the cricket. Won the test match. That's the most important thing. Drawn the test series 1-1. And I'm going to put the link into the chat. I'm going to put the link into the chat in a second. I've got some things to say. I would love to know, and I've hinted at it already. Santoki's not on this one. Santoki's back on Wednesday. Fazir Mohammed's coming on the show on Wednesday. We're going to talk about West Indies cricket, everything in between. So Santoki will be back for the Fazir show. But I've been saying to Santoki over the last few days, last weeks or whatever, I'd love to know the decision making and the process that went into Darren Sammy getting the job. And this is no slight on Sammy. This is no slight on Sammy whatsoever. I've got nothing against Darren Sammy. As soon as he takes over, I'm going to back Darren Sammy. I'm going to rally round the team said same way. But when I heard Sammy was getting the job, one of the things that went through my head was, and hear this properly when I say this one, Kohli isn't... Thing is, everyone's going to say why for that. I already know you lot are going to say why for that. Kohli isn't sexy enough. Okay, let me just put the why in. Let me put my own why in. Okay, let me just say why for that straight away. Okay. A man said lava splash. let me finish. Let me land my line. Let me land it. Let me land it. Right? Let me land the line, because you lot know where you lot know where I'm trying to go for this. You lot know where I'm going here. Bear man are saying, no, I can't subscribe to this channel right now. Let me land my line. Let me land it. Oh God, Kohli's not sexy enough. And what I mean by that is, I just wonder. I wonder if his name and his standing, his stature doesn't sell West Indies cricket. It doesn't draw eyes. It doesn't draw TV. It doesn't draw media. Now we've got past the why for that. Do you understand where I'm going with this? Because when I heard he was getting removed, in my head I was thinking, right, Andre Coley has done enough developmental work in the region, right? He's got all the qualifications you need to have. He knows the region inside out. Enough of these men he's coached, like Craig and them man, enough of these men he's coached through age cricket. And more importantly than all, he got us a win in Australia, right? He's now ended his job with a win in Pakistan. And I'm just looking at it. And I always said this before the Pakistan series started. Those of you who are proper fans of Caribbean Cricket Podcast will remember I said this. What happens if he went to Pakistan and won? What would that mean? Now, obviously, it means he still doesn't have his job, right? And he goes back into the developmental system. But I'd just love to know. Because remember, the job for head coach was never advertised, right? It was never announced that, okay, I knew, like, in fairness, Coley only signed a 2-year contract. So in fairness, there was an understanding. If you knew behind the scenes, there was an understanding of, well, his contract's up, because it was always a 2-year interim contract. It started around Zimbabwe. I don't know if you lot remember. He took over on a kind of interim basis for that Zimbabwe tour. So he kind of had a 2-year interim contract. So I knew something was going to have to happen. But I just wonder how it came to be that they said, yeah, Sammy should also be test coach as well. And again, I state, nothing against Sammy. Sammy could go on to, like, this could go on to be an inspirational decision. I mean, again, look at what Sammy's done with the ODI side. We're no longer looking at our ODI side thinking, you lot are shit, you can't beat anybody. And that's while Sammy's been head coach, right? You look at the T20 side, and Sammy took that team on a run up to the World Cup and afterwards, where they didn't really lose to anyone. That's happened under Sammy. So I've got no issue with Sammy. I'm just looking at the whole situation, just going, rah. If I'm Andre Coley, I'm feeling a certain kind of way. But then also, if I'm Andre Coley, I'm thinking to myself, on my resume now as a head coach, I've got a win in Pakistan against all the odds and a win in Australia against all the odds. If I'm Andre Coley, do what Phil Simmons does. Go get a job abroad. Go coach. Go apply for an island job. Go apply for Afghanistan. Go apply for, if you want to go abroad, go apply for Zimbabwe, because your stock is high right now. And if you don't believe that you can't get a job that is requisite to what you have achieved in the region, move out the region, yes? Move out the region and go take some jobs with teams who have seen what you've done and said, yeah, that's my guy still. I'm bringing him in. Because you might not be sexy enough for Cricket West Indies, but you might be sexy for a next man. Anyways, let me put the link in the chat. That's my opening monologue, people. That's my opening monologue. My opening monologue is done. The link's in the chat, people. Listen, we can't go long. We can't go long today. Seriously, I have to go to bed. I've been up since 4:30. I am so tired. I'm so tired. Right. Who's up first? Medvis. Medvis got in touch with me. Medvis got in touch with me early. I don't know if you lot remember Medvis, Detroit in the house. I don't even know if Medvis still lives in Detroit, but Detroit in the house if he's still in Detroit. So Medvis got in touch with me. Medvis, big up Medvis, long-time supporter of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. So he got in touch and said, Mash, for once you're doing a live call-in when I can actually come on the show and then talk. So I'm going to let him come on first. He is a patron. So I actually sent him the link before I even started, I sent it to him privately and said, yeah, you can come on first. And in fairness to those of you who are patrons, I probably should be doing that anyways. So I'll try and do that next time. So we got we got the real heavyweights coming on the show today. Let me tell people who we got coming on the show today. The real heavyweights. We got Medvis up first, Fireball second, Shane up third. Shane's about to come on and tell everyone what did this draw even mean. But Shane's up third. And then we got Neek Sports coming on fourth. So, boy, even though I want to go to bed, anyone who just signed in, you can't leave this one. We got all the heavyweights coming in to talk today. And then we got your boy NG. Who's your boy NG? Is that a new caller? I've never heard. I don't know who your boy. We even got Truscott. Oh my gosh, we got everyone trying to come on the show today. Anyways, let's go to Medvis. Medvis is going to come on first, people. Let's bring him on. Who's your boy NG? Your boy NG. Can you get in the chat and let me know who you are? Are you a new caller, or is that Bigfoot or someone? Anyways, let me bring Medvis on.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, all good, Medvis. How you doing?
Yeah, what's up, man?
I'm very good.
I'm always at work, but I had to be in the field today, so I'm at work the afternoon from home, so was able to catch you guys.
Very good, very good. In fact, I think this is the first time you've ever come on.
No, it's been it's almost been a year though. I'm always whenever y'all do lives, I'm always still at the office.
Right. Okay.
Always still at the office. Yeah. But I would be in touch with you guys because I have another sponsorship type thing to talk to you guys about. So yeah.
Okay, we'll talk off.
Definitely talk, bro. So I think this is dope, but to be real, if in the first inning, if no man had decided to challenge Guda Moti, remember when I think they're looking for a catch, and they could have also looked for LBW, and they decided not to challenge it, right?
Yes, yeah.
That if Guda had been out, we could easily be on this live right now. It'd be like a funeral, right? Because if he doesn't make that 50, and we're looking to defend 90 runs, 105 runs, emotionally, it's a very different second innings reply versus, we went into 160, 170 into the or 150, I think, something like that. So my thing with this is cricket's a funny game. They went and applied themselves. But for me, it doesn't take away, and I guess I'm being being kind of a Debbie Downer, but it doesn't take away from the overall challenge that we're facing in our cricket. And that is, if you look at batting averages from 1980 till 2005, bowling averages from 1980 to 2005, are we going up or are we going down? Right? And the reality is that, yes, we win this game, but cricket is as much a physical talent, raw talent game as it is an emotional game. It's a very head-driven game, right? Especially Test cricket. You're having to do the same thing over and over again. You have to do it for an hour, 2 hours, right, to be great. And I think that's where as you said, our guys struggle with pressure. And that's a function of the overall structure. They're not getting enough game time. We're rushing guys into the setup too early. And my question is, are we just going to do that all over again? What happens if Matthew Nandu goes and scores up a whole heap of runs this thing? Are we now saying, oh, Matthew, go and you replace Machel Louis? Even though arguably Matthew should play, again, a cricket, he maybe should even get a county deal, something to really before you throw him into the fire, because it's unfair to me to judge one guy off of a lean form when he just wasn't ready. So my question is, when we look back into April, I think it was April or May, when they had this big hearing and convening of cricketers in the Caribbean, right? We did the exact same thing that the foreign press is doing. All I heard for the most part was, we have to go back to our greatness. We literally, instead of bringing on experts in how you develop sports, we just took guys who just were good cricketers once upon a time, but are not great administrators or are not great developers of sport and economy, and said, let these guys tell us the answers. There were no solutions that came out of that forum. So my worry is, we're looking to this first class season coming to provide us with answers. And how is this season going to be different from the last 10?
Apparently this season is where legends are made.
This is where legends are made. So that's
okay. No, but hold on. Let me interject because I'm looking at the chat as you're talking, and there are people saying, in fact, I'll bring up Cheeseman. So Cheeseman says, General, come on, General, we have to talk about the win. But hold on, before you react to Cheeseman for saying that, where is the line between the win's great, let's focus on the win, and hold on, this is an instructive moment to try and learn some lessons before we end up in the exact same situation as last year, where we start with a historic win and then go through the rest of the year taking L's?
I mean, I've been a West Indies cricket fan in North America for a long time. So that's pain, right? Yes, this is cool. And if this was a World Cup win, amazing. But we didn't win the series. We drew the series. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get off the line too because I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. But here's what I want to talk about because I like money, right? When will I be able to buy a West Indies jersey in Kingston, Jamaica, or Bridgetown as easy as I can buy a European football jersey?
This is facts. Now that is actual facts. Yeah.
Second point.
As a member of the British diaspora, I can't go anywhere and find West Indies jerseys anywhere, to the point where I had to start making my own CCP just to wear some West Indies something. So that's facts in fairness.
And that's in UK. Yeah. You can go to Kingston, you can go to Bridgetown, Barbados, the mecca of cricket, quote unquote, and you can easily buy a Liverpool jersey in a shop before you can buy a West Indies jersey at a bar in the stadium. Just walking to General Commerce, it is not. We have not pushed our game from a commercial level. When we talk about why we can't do 18 tours, is always we don't have money. We don't have money. Well, if the NBA didn't sell jerseys, they wouldn't have any money either. Second point. When was the last time you seen a West Indies player branded, like, you know how they have the Wheaties player of the month or whatever? You see basketball players, the American football players on stuff, pushing them from a branding standpoint. When was the last time you seen that for any of our cricketers? It's been ages since you've seen a West Indies cricketer in some sort of commercial. So my whole point with asking these kind of fundamental economic questions is, until we are thinking about our game like any other major sport does, we'll never have the funds to push the game at the grassroots. That's for territorial boards or West Indies boards. Then until we push the game at the grassroots level and help these guys develop real careers, the law of averages will always take over. So yes, will Gudakesh Modi score a 50? Maybe he average wise at the end of his career, maybe he'll have a 30 run average batting wise. He probably won't though, right? He's not a 35, 40, run average batter. He's probably more along the lines of 20, 25. So the reality is that the law of averages takes over. And my thing going into 2025 is it just gets frustrating when you just see us have the same challenge of, great talent gets pushed in, and we just keep recycling people, recycle players, recycle coaches. Simmons was the reason why we weren't winning test matches before, and then we lose him, and then he comes to the West Indies and draws a match with us with Bangladesh, right? So if he was a problem, why was he able to take Bangladesh to draw us a match? You know what I mean? I just feel like we just do all this hocus pocus type of move this guy, move that person. And again, until the game itself, people want to wear the jerseys, people can buy the jerseys. There's money coming into the coffers. Y'all, we could go the way of Kenya cricket, bro. You could go the way of Zimbabwe cricket, and none of those. Hold on. No, that's a big fact. Big facts, bro. I'm gonna get off the line, but big facts. If you don't start making some money, you're losing money. That's a fact. You gotta start money off of me, bro.
Hold on. Let us celebrate the Pakistan win at least till the end of today.
Hey, 2025. It's gonna be July. I don't want to hear y'all singing the blues. July, y'all singing the blues. Once upon a time, the Pakistan premium. I'm gonna jump off, y'all, but y'all be good.
Listen, Medvis, make sure you come on again.
Pakistan premium. That dude's gonna be having. Dude's gonna have. We'll still have Athens batting in July. I hope he does much better than that. I'm just saying we have to fix the structure. These are great cricketers. I feel bad for them because they are not given enough preparation. That's facts. All right. You guys take care.
Take it easy. Well, Medvis started off with the fire, people. First caller, top that one. Medvis said In fairness, though, I know a lot of people listen to that and be like, this man coming on and he won't even let us celebrate the little one victory, so on and so forth. But the one thing I will say that Medvis just landed a gem just before he went. Medvis said, watch how over the next year now, we talk about Pakistan premium. And I actually think that's a good point. Look at 2024, we spent the whole year, myself and Santoki, going, well, boy, I guess there's Australia premium. And anyways, let me I just kind of feel he's in the wider grand scheme of things. What Medvis is saying is true. Even if you don't want to hear it, what he's saying is true. If you don't fix everything off the field, you just find yourself back in the same spot again, right? But anyways, he's still in the chat. So Ian Williams said, why allow your friends to badmouth West Indies? The thing is, Ian, that's an emotional response. This is the thing about West Indies cricket. I put this in the Discord earlier on today. Are we an overly emotional people? Like, when it comes to West Indies, why are we so emotional about it? Why are we not? And when I say we, that's you lot. That's not me. Why are we so emotional about it? Why are we not able to separate the facts on the ground from how it makes you feel a certain kind of way? And I do think there is this kind of weird line when we look at like cricket in the region and the West Indies, where people like, I get a lot said to me in comments where it's like, you need to talk more positively about the guys. And in my head, I'm just like, but I'm just talking facts. I'm just talking facts. There's no emotion behind it. It's not like I'm getting in my feelings about it. I'm just talking the facts as I see them, right? Or some say facts, some say my opinions. But whatever, like, it doesn't have to be an emotional reaction. Like Medvis's points, objectively speaking, are all correct. Whether you want to hear them right here and now, well, that I understand. But objectively speaking, they're all correct. Like, why can't any of us find a West Indies jersey anywhere? Why can't we? I actually bought one. It's on the wall here, this white one here. Do you know how I got this one, right? When I went to watch West Indies England in Antigua in November, they did outside, for those of you who've been to the Sir Viv ground, where the Viv statue is, in fairness to Cricket West Indies, had put up a pop-up shop outside the Viv statue. But check this out, people. Check this out. And those of you who live in the Caribbean and who have gone to games recently, tell me if I'm wrong or if I'm exaggerating or if I've got this wrong. I reckon that pop-up shop was only there because England were the opponents. And you don't know already how the English fans love the Caribbean and they want to buy all Caribbean stuff. They want the fake dreadlocks. They want to plait up their hair, etc., right? So I was like, this pop-up shop is cool. And I went and bought my white ODI shirt. And I was like, oh, this shop is cool. Oh, yeah, they're selling West Indies merch. And then I deeped it. Wait a minute. This is only here because England are here. When I was in Trinidad for the test match against South Africa at Queen's Park Oval, I didn't see any pop-up shop. I couldn't find no merch for love nor money. So Medvis has a point here. What was the difference? We can't sell merch to our own people. I'm walking around Queen's Park Oval and all I can see is Trini's drinking rum. I can't see no pop-up shop, no opportunity to buy any West Indies merch anywhere in the ground. And because I had media access, I was walking all around the ground, didn't see not one piece of merch nowhere. All I saw was Nutsman. I spent more time talking to Nutsman and buying nuts than finding a West Indies merch to buy. Like, anyway, big up the Queen's Park Oval Nutsman. Anyways, let's move on. Let's move on to Fireball. Right, Fireball. Let's go. Yes, Fireball. How you doing? Fireball don't even want to answer.
All right, I'm up. I just need to deal with something real quick. Machel can send back your StreamYard link.
Oh yeah. So what? Take you off?
No, don't take me off. But I think need StreamYard link again.
Okay.
I'll send it if you can find it. But I'll send it.
Wait. You want me to put in the chat? You mean
Yeah, I can put it in the chat.
for you? For whose benefit?
Neeks.
Oh,
I sent
Neeks.
a link already. Yeah.
Oh. No, but the problem at the moment is that because there's already 10 people backstage, no one can get in for the moment. Yeah, so sorry, I meant to say that when Medvis was on, I meant to say so at the moment, people, there's 10 people backstage. So until you go, it doesn't clear up a spot. So I'll put the link back out after you go.
All right.
Anyways,
Cool.
cool.
Let me start off about the West Indies shirt. I see West Indies like old digital shirts here and there, but I see more TKR shirts, more Trinbago Red Force shirts than West Indies shirts in my daily commute. That's neither here or there.
I hear you.
West Indies is not really as you say, a sexy brand for people under the age of 50 in this country. Yeah, young people come watch a T20, drink some rum, but they ain't following West Indies like that. Only like a handful of men who in the club cricket scene will follow West Indies like that.
I hear you. So, in fairness, I'm thinking back to when I was at Queen's Park Oval. A lot of the people I spoke to, in fairness, I think your point's right, because a lot of the people I spoke to also were aware of like Trini club cricket. So it wasn't like it was just pure casual people coming into the ground. It's like either they were friends of some of the players, or they must either play with one of the clubs. I didn't really get a sense that it was just loads of random casuals coming into the ground, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they won't come in the ground early anymore. They'll come watch a T20 at ODI, but they won't come watch Test cricket. It's usually more the hardcore fans who's come watch Test cricket. Speaking of Test cricket, I think Moti's batting favorite might be his lifeline, because
to keep him in the team.
Yeah. Moti's batting might be a lifeline because he's getting out bowler working. Working right now is our top bowler, but Moti is showing up with the bat, which could save him.
So this is interesting because, okay, so the first test in Australia, it's going to be very interesting to see the next test team that is picked in 6 months' time, 5 months' time. Having seen what Multi and Warwican did, there will be some kind of, pressure's the wrong word, but there'll be some kind of desire possibly to be like, right, Multi and Warwican bowled us to victory in Pakistan. Maybe a West Indies test team should have those two in it on a regular basis. But the only way that works is if you consider Multi an all-rounder, because if it's based on the usual setup for the West Indies, you'd have 3 pacers, which would be, if everyone's fit, Jaden Seals, Shamar Joseph, Kimar Roach. Alzari has to sit on the bench for me, right? That's your 3 pacers, and then it's 1 spinner. So I know there'll be people in the chat right now going stink Trini man saying Multi lifeline. But what I would say is that West Indies don't normally play two spinners at home. And if they're not going to play 2 spinners at home, well, Multi's going to have to sit unless Multi turns into a genuine all-rounder.
Yeah.
That's the point you're effectively making, I think.
Yeah, I'm not saying drop Multi because he's sting Guyanese, but if Warwick can perform and he can't just punish Warwick and say, aight, your performer Multi is our boy. You can't do that. Moroccan has shown up every time we picked him.
Which is so, actually, I'll answer your question based off that. Seeing how successful they were with spin, and it's so long away, so many months away, so it's almost a redundant question to ask. But seeing lots of people have sent me this message today to say, given how successful we were bowling spin to Pakistan, should West Indies now produce ranked turners in the Caribbean? What's your view on that?
It depends on the opposition. I wouldn't produce a ranked turner against if you're facing India, for instance. But I wouldn't. The sad thing is, you end up just like Pakistan. If we can't bat on the rank turner, we will lose. We will lose all the same.
Mm.
It depends on the spinners and the opposition. Australia,
Okay.
I wouldn't mind trying against Australia as like a Hail Mary, but against someone like even someone like a South Africa, like they'll just have Maraj, who's better than all our spinners. He'll just spin us away in a rank turner.
My response to that, when I got asked the question earlier today, my response to that was, but hold on a minute. We have a generational talent in Jaden Seals and a potential talent in Shamar Joseph. And obviously slider is slider. Why would you go against what your actual strength is, which is your pacers, just to bowl two spinners because they bowled down bad Pakistan, right? So I think people need to be careful not to just do the kind of recency bias thing and base a victory over Pakistan as I think your point is valid. We would then just become Pakistan then, surely. We would be like, this is the only way we can win. So that's what all we're going to do. And then all it takes is a good team to turn up and go, well, we'll just beat you at your own game.
Exactly. I don't like people need to remember our batters are not good against spin. Our top order, they will struggle as well. And speaking of our top order, I think Louis he needs to put the runs in the competition that where legends are made, or I'll think Louis might need to get dropped. I'm on again. I'm gonna win again. He's back with this one here. I was on the side of Tage got dropped a bit early. He should have got the England tour. I think Tage it was a bit harsh. Yes, he was on a rough run of form, but his form is better than anything Louis put up. All due respect to Louis. I think Louis was brought on too early. Or he put him in the fire and he got burnt.
The question for Machel Louis is this. So I think he must be averaging like 19 now or something like that. I mean, we wait to see what happens in the first class championship. And for those who don't know, it begins on Wednesday. So we wait to see. But more than likely, the batters who will put their name in the lights will be one of McCaskey, John Campbell, maybe Matthew Nandu, etc. And to be fair, when I hear those names, I don't immediately think to myself, well, that's going to solve the problem. So,
I remember, yeah.
But I think, go on, carry on.
I remember when people was cussing John Campbell before he got the ban, you know. People say, why we not dropping John Campbell for Tage? I remember that talk. John Campbell don't bring me joy.
Listen, in his last year before the drugs ban, Campbell was actually averaging 35 though. So I have to reference the statistical evidence to say that just as he got his drugs ban, he had just about seemed to crack or at least understand his game in Test cricket. So I reckon if he puts up runs, I would assume that he is the one. I would assume that he is the one that will come back into the team. But we'll see. Anyways, listen, Fireball, I'm wary that everyone's trying to get on today and I'm trying to go to bed, so I'm going to go to the next caller.
All right. Take care.
All right, no problem. Cool. Oh, hold on. I just put Shane on too early. You didn't even give him no warning. Hold on, people. So Shane's on next, which must mean Neeks can probably get back in now. Because we're down to Cheeseman says call it an anti-doping ban. Drugs ban, anti-doping ban. Same thing, man. The man bun 1-2 something and got banned. We're like, it's the same thing, man. Like the semantics don't matter. Right, okay. So Shane is next. Shane was messaging me. In fairness to Cheeseman, no, Cheeseman does have a point because actually, I just remembered. Sorry, I'm actually taking that back. The story about John's ban. Thank you, Cheeseman. You just reminded me, actually. So I actually do need to correct this. The story, at least that I was told about John's ban, is that the testers turned up to his house and he told them to go. That's what I was told. I don't know if that's facts. That's what I was told. And at the end of the day, if them man turn up to your house and they're the drug testers or whatever it is, and you tell them to go, what do you think's going to happen? I already cussed them out still. So to me, we can get into the semantics of it and all of that kind of thing, and we can try and do the defend our countryman thing. But at the end of the day, all professional athletes know if the drugs man comes to your house for a whereabouts ting, you best do the ting or you're gonna get a ban. So we can all do the countryman thing, but that and as a Jamaican, I could easily do the no, they did John wrong. Nope. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it because at the end of the day, the man them turned up. The man them turn up. Stop defending the nonsense, people. I'm not on the defending foolishness thing out here. I'm not defending it. I know all the people in the chat right now who are doing the defending thing. It's because you're Jamaican. Allow it, innit? Allow it. Allow it. Stop doing the countryman thing. Right, okay, let me bring Shane on.
Well, go on.
Yes, Shane, how you doing?
Well, I was talking to you enough times through the test still, but yeah, I wouldn't even normally come on so soon to the last time I came on, but I was like, you know what? I feel like this has to be. I feel like I have to jump onto this week's one still.
Yes. Come through.
The maddest thing is, yeah, you done a video today, which I didn't even notice, yeah, when you spoke about the last couple years in January. Yeah. People ask me, why do I watch cricket? Yeah. I've been watching cricket since I was a child, but obviously I'm young and I've been watching cricket from young. But my uncle and my dad are the two reasons why I watch cricket. A few years ago, my uncle passed away, yeah, but his birthday's in January. And literally he died 2020 January, and every January since then he's got a birthday present in it. So that one I just realized his birthday is the 25th of January. The Gabba test and this test all happened on the 25th. So I was like, boy, that's some divine intervention that we had some miracles still. So I wanted to ask you a question. Go on.
Go on, Karen.
I wanted to ask you a question, yeah? You know, there's a joke reference. I don't really know what it's about. Just a quick side note. What's this Jason Holder Santoki beef? I don't get what is that all about, bro? The Santoki ain't done nothing for Jake. What's that joke about?
Let me clear that one up. So I can't remember if it was before England. I can't remember the exact timing of it. Somebody in the chat will probably remember. But I think Santoki and I were recording a video. And I was talking about should Jason Holder be back in the test team or something like that. And Santoki's response to it was Jason Holder ain't. No, he said, I think Santoki said something like, no, I don't think he should. And then I started laughing and said, yeah, but why not? And he was like, he ain't done nothing for me. And then that just turned into that just turned into a meme from there. So that's literally how that came about. But then the joke is, it's me that Jason Holder wants to fling the bat after. It's not as Santoki said.
I can't lie, yeah. Enough man's trying to beef you right now. You got the next man trying to beef you as well, Bridget. It's kind of peak right now. Still, you need to walk on road with security.
For some reason, I'm sure somebody will tell me, but for some reason, I seem to rile people up when I give my opinions.
But you know what? Yeah, the biggest thing I wanted to talk about is the bowlers. Yeah, because I said to you the last time I came on, the biggest what I expect Sammy to set is like targets for both batters and bowlers, and I expect no matter what the conditions are, we take 20 wickets. And not only do I expect that, but they're actually doing it. Do you remember a few years ago, we had that series against Australia, where Australia pretty much declared every time we batted against them. We also had that series against Sri Lanka, where both games ended in a draw and we couldn't take 20 wickets in one of the test matches. And there was also the 3-match series against England, where other than that one test match where we won, they were just making bare runs, bro. If you look at where we are now, I would easily say where this is the best bowling lineup I've ever seen in my life. Bear in mind, I'm 26 in it. Because we currently have 5 bowlers averaging under 30. 5 bowlers. 2 spinners and 3 seamers. Shamar Joseph is 20-odd. Roach is 20-odd. Seals is 20-odd. Warrican's 20-odd. And Multi's 20-odd. 5 bowlers. When have you ever seen that? Under 30. So I feel like you put our bowling lineup against anyone. And I didn't feel like that before the Pakistan test. But it showed us that we can obviously go to spin conditions and take 20 wickets as well. We done it in Bangladesh, took 20 wickets. So I'm like, this bowling lineup is as strong as it's ever been, and it probably ever will be. So with that being said, yeah, every game we play, I don't care what the conditions are, we have to look to bowl last. But play to your strengths. Because if you watch the game against South Africa, we batted first, we bowled first. We got South Africa out for cheap, but our batting so crap, we still couldn't even win. Like we still couldn't make the score. So if you're bowling last, for me, you always keep yourself in the game when you got a team that can take 20 wickets. Like I would, no matter what the conditions, I'm bowling last. That would be my aim. I'm looking to bowl last because I don't think we can bat ourselves to victory. I think if we had to chase 70, we still might struggle.
Oh, yeah, I can't disagree. The West Indies' strength now, is the bowling. I think the stats are there for themselves. I don't know if anyone's on the Caribbean Cricket Podcast Twitter handle, but I've been at pains to point out that in our last 22 Test match innings, going back to the Australia tour, is it to the England tour? I can't remember. No, the England tour. We've passed 200 about 5 times. So the facts are just there. Like we can't bat. But my thing is this, Shane. How far can a team go with just be like it's like that classic thing in football, right? So in football, the phrase is strikers win you cups, but defenses win you championships, right? That's the phrase that people use in football. In cricket, how far can a team go with a bowling attack that can take 20 wickets? How far can they go when the batting can barely score 180 most times?
I'll be honest. It comes down to my next point, which is batting identity. New Zealand won the Test Championships, and if you look at their team, it was a heavily bowling strength. Like their strengths were their bowling. South Africa are currently in the Test Championships final, and their strengths are their bowling. Like without a doubt, you got Rabada, you got Ngidi, you got Maharaj. Like their bowling lineup is definitely their strength because they can take 20 wickets. I'm not saying that we're ever going to be at that stage, but look at the facts. The last Test matches that we have won has been bowling last. That's just the facts. So it's not me. Like when you ask me how far can we go taking 20 wickets, ask the reverse question. How far can we go not relying on our bowling? Because we ain't going nowhere, bro. If we're relying on not our bowling and everything other than our bowling, bro, we might as well play with Zimbabwe, Afghanistan. Bro, let's keep it real. Not even Afghanistan, bro. We should be playing with flipping Namibia and Uganda. Like our black people need to understand. And I'm not one of those people that will let this victory blind my judgment. Number 9, 10, and 11 was the top scorer in 2 innings, bro. Do you know how mad that is, bro? We've been playing Test cricket for hundreds of years, and that's never happened. And we've done it 2 times, 1 time, just like that, bro. That's mad, fam. Mad. And not even just for West Indies. There's been 10, 15 Test playing nations for years. You can even look in kid cricket. Probably even in like baby cricket, you wouldn't see 9, 10, and 11 make the be top scorers. Twice, bro. Do you know how mad that is, bro? Well, bro. Come on, fam. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Like when
listen, West Indies setting records out here, though.
No, bro, it's not even worse. We're setting records and breaking it again because we set the record in the first Test and then we broke it again in the second. So it's mad, man. It's even worse, bro.
But this is actually a serious problem, though. It's a serious problem because I think you've put together a really good argument for the bowling thing and bowling last and so on and so forth. But how far can you go with 9, 10, and 11 being your best batters? And do you know what we've not been told yet? Unless I've missed an interview, I don't think anyone's even asked Craig or Andre Coley or anybody why were our bowlers able to bat and the top 6, 7 couldn't bat.
Please,
no one's answered the question yet.
Ask that question. How is Warwick averaging 42, bro? 42. Like on a big and serious level, yeah. If we had a batsman averaging 42, I'd be so happy. Like if I had a batsman averaging 32 right now, I'd be so happy. The last thing I wanted to talk about though, which I think obviously I know you got enough people to come on, was when it comes to Brathwaite, yeah, he done amazing with the bat. But for me, as a captain, I'll still keep him as a captain and I'll still keep him in the team. But he has to be more proactive. Knowing that our bowling lineup is our strengths, I want us to be way more aggressive with the ball and support our bowlers way more. Because for me, that's the only way we're going to win test matches. When Darren Sammy comes, there's a few things I want him to improve. One is the identity of our batting. I don't care if we get out for 50 runs every time. But if there's a clear ethos of how we're playing, at least I can buy into that. But in terms of our bowling, we have to support our bowlers. I'll give you an example, bro. When Saud and what's his name, Rizwan came to the crease, bro, my man brought himself on to bowl. Like, that's not understanding the occasion right now. These two are the number one batsmen for them. Bring on a bowler that's going to take... We have to attack. Force them over the top. Do something. Be proactive and not reactionary. So for me, that's my biggest criticism with Brathwaite. I don't really care about his batting because he's the best batsman in the region regardless. But his captaincy has to be way more aggressive in the field.
Does he have the players to... Well, no, because you're going to say the bowlers are good enough. Okay, do you know what? Because Neeks was... I'm going to defend you here, and I have to reference Neeks, because Neeks was basically making this same point in the Discord, that Brathwaite is too... I don't know if negative's the right word, but he's too... Definitely slow to react, I think. I think it's fair to say that he's sometimes slow to react. But does that come? I'm going to try and slyly defend Craig here. Does that come from the kind of history of, well, we lose all the time? So you have a natural inclination to be like, boy, I got to prioritize not giving away easy runs because this game could get away from it. Like, so he's always going to be more likely to think this game could get away from us if I don't do X, as opposed to thinking, how can I really press home the advantage right now?
You're right. I get you, but I feel like you don't win test matches like that. I feel like it's in every sport, and I'll use a boxing reference because it's easy to understand. If you go into the ring and you just play you just have a high guard and you don't look at throwing punches back, eventually you're going to get knocked out because the guy doesn't have to think about defense. When in any sport, when a person doesn't have to think about reverse, they're always going to keep going forward. You have to make the person think about... You have to make a person think about defending themselves before they attack. And in the second innings, that's exactly what he done. Like, if you look how proactive he was in that last innings, that's exactly what I would expect him to be in every innings. Like, there's certain things that, for me, as a captain, you just have to understand the occasion. There's certain people that we have to get out and we have to be proactive. And I just feel like that's something he definitely needs to improve on.
I can't disagree. Can't disagree. Do you think Sammy keeps him as captain?
I think at this stage you have to, because there isn't a guarantee that you have. Obviously, I know you've done the video of Shea Hope being captain, but there's no guarantee that Shea Hope's even going to be in the team. You know, he might not even want to play Test cricket. So for me, I wouldn't even do that. And when you have a team that's already unstable, creating an unnecessary unstable environment, for me, I don't feel it warrants that. Also, it comes down to expectation. When we go into the next Test cycle, what are we playing for? Do you know what I'm saying? We're not playing to go to the Test Championship. We may have the ambition, but we're not going to. So what are we playing for? And I feel like where everything is up in the air, try and create some stability. And I think if he makes Craig Brathwaite his captain, he also has to be quite influential, like in terms of how he selects and how he picks and what he does. And him as a coach, I want him to implement an ethos within the team. So if you are going to make him the captain, make sure he's just the face and he's not the actual person that's doing things. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make a difference.
So Sammy essentially captains. Sammy basically becomes
pretty
captain,
much, exactly.
And Craig delivers on what Sammy basically tells him to do.
Literally, that's literally how I would put it, because I don't even think the captaincy's benefited Brathwaite recently, especially when you look at the inexperience that he's batting with right now. I think, though, we do need another experienced batsman in that top six. Like, I know people are saying, oh, should we bring this person in, this youngster in? I genuinely believe we need to bring in someone who's actually who Brathwaite can rely on as well as the other batsmen can rely on. Because right now, Brathwaite can only rely on Warwick and Multi to make runs. It's kind of mad. Like, it's mad, fam. like I'm not even, when you brought up John Campbell, I actually feel like that's not a stupid idea, because whilst John Campbell may only average like 30 odd, boy, that 30 odd's looking healthy to this West Indies batting lineup right now, boy. If a man can give me,
we just need one guy. We just need.
Trust me.
It's unrealistic to think that we can find anyone. We can't find more than one guy who can average 30. We just need one man who, when Craig is out, you can say this man might do a little bit of something. Just one. There must be one man in the whole of the Caribbean.
Facts.
We must confine one man.
Just one man.
I don't want two, just one man.
One man. Just one man.
You can average 30, not even 31, just 30.
30. Literally. That, bro, I would take that, you know. I would take that, bro. I would take that. But you know what, Mash? Bro, love for the obviously it was mad talking to you during the test, because we were both up at 4:30, so it's mad. But definitely what you lot are doing is sick, bro. Just keep up the work, bro. The work rate's great. The work rate's great. I made a post the other day, and even Rants even said it after. Like, the 3 best channels that I watch right now, and you're one of my favorite channels to watch right now. Rants reposted it, so
bless up to that, man. I have to respect it. Listen, Shane,
love.
I've got to get through some more people. So next week, bro, or whenever you're next back on.
Yeah, therefore, bro. Love.
Yeah, wicked. Later. Right, remember, people, if you want to follow Shane, let me put the thing in the chat. So I forgot to plug Shane. You can go to Nick J. Francis. I've just put in the chat. Go to Nick J. Francis. You can find Shane's content on that channel. Arsenal, lots of boxing stuff, etc. So you can find Shane there. And obviously also on Insta. Right, who's next? Oh, gosh. The tiredness is starting to kick in, man. I'm not having no more callers, you know. Anybody who's trying to say, give me the link. No. Neeks is the last caller. There's no one coming on after Neeks. I have to go to bed. Right, next up is your boy NG. If this is Bigfoot, it's not Bigfoot, is it? No, it's not Bigfoot. Who's this? I'm looking at the picture in the background. I think is it a new caller? I don't know who your boy NG is. I'm looking in the background. This might all be somebody. Let me see. One second, people. It's a new caller, people. New caller. Right. Your boy NG, when you come on, state what country you're ringing from, background, etc. And yeah, one second. Let me just. Rippers Production says CCP, is it the summer before the next? Yeah. So the next test series is Australia. There's a test match in Jamaica. Test match in Barbados. I don't know where the third one is. It'll probably end up being Antigua. I'm just waiting for the dates to be announced. Obviously, I'm going to if it is in Jamaica, as I've been told, then obviously I have to fly home and go see that test match. That is an immediate must if Jamaica is announced as one of the test matches. People are saying Grenada's going to get the third one, and then we go to India, which I think will be probably around October time, I think. Or is it earlier than that? I don't know, actually. Maybe it'll be in because it can't be August, because that's when CPL is happening. I don't know when the India tour is, but we go to India for 2 tests. And then at the back end of 2025, in November, December, we go to New Zealand for 3 tests. It hasn't been, again, none of these dates have been confirmed yet. That's another thing that cricket's mad about. Somebody messaged me on the Patreon the other day saying, Mash, do you know the dates for the New Zealand tour? And I'm like, no. But he had a point. How don't we know them yet? I know it's in December, but what, you don't know what dates you're going? And the thing is, New Zealand ain't cheap. Say a man wanted to go follow West Indies in New Zealand. That place ain't cheap. They need to know this stuff well in advance. These men will tell us the dates we're going to New Zealand about 2 weeks before the tour starts. Like, how does... Anyways, let me not even get into it. Let me bring on the next caller, your boy NG. Yes, your boy NG. How you doing?
Yes, sir. Good evening. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well. You're probably one of the clearest callers ever to come on the show.
That's what I'd love to hear. First of all, to answer your question, I'm calling from the UK. My background is from St. Lucia. So you might have seen me in the Discord doing propaganda for Johnson Charles a few times. That's me. Yes, sir. You found me. I finally came on. I said, I'm finally going to call in. The jig is up though, because I have confessed before that I am trolling it a little bit, just a small piece though. How are you doing? You good?
I'm good.
Yeah, but listen, I was there as well, 4:30 this morning. But I'll be honest, I'm watching us take these wickets through my phone. My eyes are barely even open, just burning up the whole time. But I had the cleanest nap afterwards, man. That was a beautiful start. A beautiful start to the day. So I hope that you all had the same and everyone else here as well. But listen, I can't lie, a few of my points have already been touched on because Shane actually touched on my point, which is going to be around Craig's captaincy. I thought the same thing. I thought he was a little bit too defensive as well in this test. But that's already been discussed, so I don't want to get into that too much. And I want to point about something that Panda said last week, actually. I thought she raised a really good point about, and she'd raised it in the Discord a few times as well. And I'd seen it, and I thought, that's a good point. I'm surprised no one else is talking about this. And that was Sammy as head coach across all three formats. And essentially, if Sammy don't like you, your career is finished. And the same way goes for what I see today when I seen Jason Holder's post about Andre Coley.
Oh, right. So you're the notice. I've deliberately not mentioned it because I already know that Jason's looking for me. So I'm not mentioning it. I was waiting to see if somebody was going to mention that.
Listen, I don't even have Instagram anymore. I can take my wife's phone and go on Insta and check it because I saw someone posted it in the Discord. Like, what's Jason Holder posting about? All right. So I like Jason Holder, and I wanted to think about like where has he been as well, like in some of our white ball teams, and is there something that is going on with him and Sammy, and does this maybe spell the end of his career for West Indies, right? As an example, and then I thought about how that tied into what Panda was saying about really something like that could just be someone's career done. And
all right,
I am saying Lucian, and I love Sammy, but
yeah.
There's something there that does feel like he does have a little bit too much power in cricket West Indies.
So check this out, because when I saw the message, when I saw the what's it called, an Insta, a post, I guess it's a post or story or whatever. When I saw it, the first thing that went through my head was, wait a minute, this looks like it's not even a sneak diss. It just looks like a diss, right? Yeah. And I'm like, I know you're Jason, and technically you're untouchable. But are you untouchable? Because in fairness, right, I think the posts, because there's people in the chat now saying, what are you talking about, right? So if I remember rightly, the post said something along the lines of, it was a picture of Jason and Andre Coley. And the post basically intimated, I don't know why they're removing you from this position. And I am not exaggerating. That's basically what it said.
Can I say one thing? I think it was worse than that, is the way the hashtag shake SMH, he's saying shake my head and everything. That part as well. That's what I'm saying. So it is what it is. I thought, anyway, let me get back to you to
yeah, so I just saw that and I thought I read it and was like, rah, okay. Man's moving brave out here because that's a kind of sneak diss out here. Now, obviously, maybe everyone can just talk and break bread and so on and so forth. And in fairness to Jason, the wider point of, you know what, why are we actually removing Coley? I get that. I slightly agree with it, right? But if you're the next head coach coming in and you see that, I think that's a dissing thing.
100%.
Like you're dissing me out. Like, what are you doing there? So I'm not saying that means Holder can't play and so on and so forth, but it does go back to your point of Sammy's now head selector for everything, everything. So, boy.
Yeah, Panda, I see you in chat. Listen, I gave you credit. If you didn't hear, I shouted you out. I said it was your point that you made last week as well. And I think there's something to it. And listen, I don't know what politics is, or maybe I'm conspiracy theorist or what, but it just found it funny that the World Cup, Jason's injured, but then there's some down bad T20 league he goes to. Then England series, he's injured doing up commentary or whatever, and then he's back playing T20 somewhere else. And it's just like, to me, it just, I don't know if I'm just making, there's something that's going on here. But when I saw that post, I was like, raw, like that is actually a blatant dig out. And yeah, I thought it really was timely based on what Panda said last week. And I was surprised no one else was really talking about it that much. And after Shane took my point, I said, right, well, I need to say something because I've just been sat here. So I said, I've got to bring something up.
There's over 300 people in this chat right now, or in this show right now. At least 5 of them will be players on burner accounts. So somebody will have clipped this and sent it to Jason anyway. So, Jason, I just want to say I'm not involved. I'm not involved. I weren't even gonna bring it up. So don't even say nothing to me. I'm not involved in this one.
See, when I saw Jason at Beckenham, we got a photo, so he didn't cuss me out. But next time he sees me, he might try and cuss me out. And to the point as well, yeah. I know that someone was talking about merchandise and pieces like that. I got this in England. Like, I've been to St. Lucia, I've been to other places to like watch cricket. I've not seen. Actually, that's a lie. When England came, there was merchandise there, which kind of goes to your point, actually. But this I had to buy from England. The ODI and T21s was when like people were touring, with like England's touring West Indies, rather than it just being like a thing that's just big up where it is. And yeah, to me, there was something to that, definitely. And I can't remember the first guy who called in, but when he said that, I said, bro, that's a very, very good point. That we're not doing enough to like market stuff like that, not pushing like merchandise out into the market. And then we complain that there's no money in the cricket, but at the same time, it doesn't matter because the domestic championship is where legends are made. So there you go.
Well, listen, it all just raises questions about who are in some of these key posts and do they really understand. Like, I just don't get it. Even when they came to Beckenham last year for the England tour, they must have known, right, that Kent had sold this tour, had marketed that game, the warm-up game, as West Indies come to Southeast London. Loads of CCP people were there. You knew that a West Indian diaspora audience was turning up. You didn't come with no merch for no one, not even a little one, not even some significant merch. Like it just don't make sense.
I hear it.
So But anyways, but listen.
Yes.
Any more points?
Just one very quick thing. Yeah. I saw people talking about Wednesday. The India tour should be in October, but I think it's to the point where I want to go to that. I want to go to that series, but I'm trying to plan stuff, and it doesn't make no sense that you can't. The dates aren't out. Same way for New Zealand, like you were saying. But that was a small point, just based on what people were talking about. And as gassed as we are, listen, I'm more than excited that we won today. But we have to really, really make it realistic. Warwick can average 42 for the series with the bat. That's all I can say. That's all I'm going to end on. Yep. But I mean, we have to put this in perspective. Like you said, if we had a middle order batsman that was batting them up, averaging 42, like Afanese and Hodges there scoring 55 in the middle order, we can start saying, okay, look, there's something in the batting lineup. But that 1911, what Shane said it best, we made history and then broke it again. I couldn't have put it better myself. That was.
Listen, no one's gonna put it better than Shane on that particular point, man.
Absolutely. Anyway, thank you very much for having me. Listen,
no worries.
Definitely want to call on again. But yeah, peace out, man. Enjoy.
Yeah, no worries. Take care. Yeah? Thank you. Before I go to who's next, James is next, but not that comment. So I should get this one out the way. Okay, let me just get this one out the way because I think it's important I explain. And for those of you who are listeners of or to the Cricket Forum, you can now timestamp this and send it to him, right? So Kirk says, Mr. CCP, I'm still waiting on the Clash of the Giants between you and Mr. Cricket Forum, two of the cricket shows in the Caribbean and beyond. So I've thought about it. So I had originally told Cricket Forum that I would do this debate with him on the 2nd of February, which is this Sunday. And I've thought about it and I've basically decided not to bother. Now, I understand that some people will say, that's because you're afraid that you're going to lose and so on and so forth. That's cool, whatever. Yeah, fine. But having discussed it with some people, they've basically made me understand that there is nothing to gain from it. Maybe for him there is, but there ain't nothing for me to gain from it. Like, I could go on there and I could, like, take him on a session of intellectual intercourse. but I just know that no matter what I do, I know that no matter what I do, he would say that I'd lost. And when I was thinking about it, I was just like, what's the point? Like, he's gonna say I've lost regardless. And it just, what do I gain out of it? And the thing is, I also know what I'm like. I wouldn't take it seriously. Like, I'd just crack jokes. And I think people have to understand that you're talking about two hard-headed, stubborn Jamaicans going bar for bar, clash for clash. That can only end one way. Jamaicans know what I'm talking about. That can only end one way. So I just thought, you know what? What's the point? So yeah, it's not happening. So I'm gonna email him now, and I'm just gonna say to him, listen, Unks, because he's an uncle to me. I have to respect my elders. Unks, it's not happening. It's not happening. Somebody else can go debate him. Let me just move on. I was about to say something so outrageous. Let me just move on. Right, okay. Next up is listen, the whole CCP diaspora's out today, you know. Next up is Truscott. So I don't know how many people know James. Anyways, Truscott, he can plug his stuff as well. I don't know if he wants to plug his stuff. How do I introduce James? I don't even know what word to use. Anyways, this guy's just outside. Let me just say that he's just outside. I don't know if any of you Jamaicans in particular, if any of you are familiar with Stream 876, I think a lot of you will be if you're Jamaican. James was doing a lot of stuff with them during the Olympics. Where was that again? Was that Paris? Was it France? So yeah, James is doing a lot of stuff with them during the Olympics, some really good stuff for them. So yeah, he's outside still. Anyways, let me bring Truscott on. Yes, how you doing?
Come on, long time. Yeah, appreciate the long intro as well. But yeah, no, you're a real one, man. You're a real one. So I have to put respect on, on your name still. Yeah.
How you doing though?
Yeah, no, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Yeah. Obviously, the communications and media manager role at CWI is now available. I know you guys are gunning for it as well, but if they want to shout me,
one of us lot needs to go for it for real though. Still,
yeah, my bags are packed.
They'd move you to Antigua and give you a house and all sorts. So listen, they have to start reaching out to the diaspora. You know, we've cultivated this huge fan base. There's people out there with requisite skills to do what they actually need. So listen, on a serious one, go and apply for it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'll be looking to get in touch with that, for sure. Because, yeah, I think a lot of the time when I tune into these, streams and these call-ins, I feel like everyone's just saying all their controversial stuff, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is too much. But to be honest, I agree with the realness that everyone's saying, including yourself. I think people are talking a lot more sensibly on this occasion. I think sometimes there's a tendency to get carried away with these wins, but I think people have acknowledged, they've recognized, us and Pakistan, we're both down bads. Ultimately, they suffered on this occasion, but it could have been us. Like what Shane said about our bowling attack being particularly strong is true. However, I think one thing that our spin bowling department is lacking is height. That I think certain international teams around the globe have recognized as not just an important facet for fast bowling, but also for spin bowling. And, as you mentioned, when you got the talents of, Jaden Seals and Shamar Joseph and, Kemar Roach, I know, he's getting older and that he's, the type of seam bowler that can make it work in any type of condition, really. I don't necessarily subscribe to, us all of a sudden, just making turning pitches. And I know how the international cricket media move as well, because as you correctly described, they've got this weird romanticization / patronization of the West Indies. If we were to do that, be like, oh, look, a once great fast bowling nation, a once great cricketing nation. This is what they've done on the subcontinent. They can also get away with it, especially considering Pakistan ain't really been hosting matches till recently. Do you know what I'm saying? But you know, the first thing I'll say that another thing I'll address that Shane said is, you know, in test matches, cool. I wouldn't say that we have to bat second. We do have to bat first. I think that's just the commonplace situation. But I do agree with what other people are saying that Brathwaite has to be more aggressive with the captaincy. We need to pin all our hopes on taking wickets and just knocking off a low total, because big totals, they'll happen for us once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
Even against the shitter nations. Do you know what I mean? For want of a better word. You know, they're going to happen like once in a blue moon. So we just need to be aggressive, yeah? Try and take wickets. If it's at the expense of runs, so be it. We weren't going to, you know, even if the opposition team's got a mid-level total, the chances are we're not going to knock off those runs anyway. So we might as well risk conceding big totals in pursuit of skittling teams and just live and die by the swords, because we've got a bowling attack that I think for the most part can compete, but our batters are way off it, as everyone knows. They're way off it. You know, I personally believe that, you know, Afghanistan, Ireland, even Zimbabwe, I think their batting lineups knock ours out the water. You know, I would actually, I'm so sorry, but I would bite their hands off. Like Zimbabwe have got Sikandar Raza, Craig Irvin. These types of guys can actually get runs beyond what our guys can get. You know, they're people that can average in the 30s, you know, and they're all format players as well. And this is why, you know, we need a measured response to Brathwaite, and I'm glad he got his 50. That, you know, as I'm sure you will say, many other people with sensible heads on their shoulders say, is equivalent to a century on that pitch, you know? The captaincy is a burden for him. Yeah, sure. But, you know, we've been spending years trying to find, you know, an opening partner for him. Respectable, not even an average 31, but someone that can just put up a total from time to time, or, you know, at least give us a start. Haven't even been able to find that. You know? So I don't know why people are so obsessed with replacing probably the one dependable. You know what? It all comes back to, you know, ousting the likes of Bonner Bravo out too early, because that would have given some of the youth man time. But now, what I subscribe to, I remember I was reading an article a few years back, and this is the philosophy that I subscribe to now with smaller countries trying to compete with the bigger countries in Test cricket, which is the New Zealand model, where they'll put in some youth man, or they'll put in players that clearly aren't ready. They've got a small player pool. They're a small country. They don't have that many people. They don't have the funds of the big three, yet they've been doing their thing because they're patient. They let players stink it out for like 20, 30 international games. They give players, based on potential, a run. So I just subscribe to that now. Bonner and Bravo should never have been ousted. You know, we needed that experience in the team, but now we've moved on. We're over them. Just youth, man, young players. Like, obviously, you mentioned the likes of Nandu and McCaskey that can come through, and, you know, restate a claim for the side, you know, to be in that top order, if you like, with the, you know, forthcoming regional situation that starts this week. But because the issue is, you know, as you've said as well, as many other people have said, we don't play enough first-class cricket. So the playing age of our players is much younger than their actual age. We've got guys coming into the side and, you know, they could be like 29, 30, you know, like Django. Yeah. Like, he's only just matured as a player. Yeah. And for me, that's a disgrace. Like, I think what we need to put the budget around is just trying to play like regional cricket, like for longer in the season, and so be it. Like, if players want to dip in, dip out, if they want to go play a little bit of the franchise, you know, down bad franchise cricket for a bit, you know, if they're part of the international squad, then so be it. But like, we just need that cricket going on so people get that experience in the region, playing against each other, you know, that experience of just at like a reasonable level, you know, against each other, so that we can, I think, increase the playing age of our players so that they don't blossom like late 20s, early 30s when they were looking like a prospect in the under 19s. So that was a little bit of a diatribe.
Let me know. So first things first, I'll deal with the final point you've made, which is the which is extending the regional season. So for the first time in about probably since before COVID, we've finally gone. So that I think the last time we did this was actually the COVID year. It was 2019 into 2020, right? And then COVID happened and the season ended. So we're finally going back to home and away games. Teams are actually traveling around the region this year. Everybody is playing at home. Everybody is playing a pink ball test because one of the Australia tests is going to be a pink ball test as well. I forgot to point that out. But when you look at how the West Indies calendar is set up, the first class season ends in April. Even if they say that, but we want to fit in the new Caribbean T20 tournament, the IPL goes on for such a long time that there is no reason. It's a lot of money, but there is no reason why you couldn't add on at least 3 or 4 more games at the back end of May into June. Now, of course, during June, Australia will turn up for the Test series. But again, there is no reason why first class cricket can't be going on.
Exactly.
The Test series
And it gives players no excuse. Gives players no excuse, especially now Sammy's got the test coaching gig alongside the white ball gig. And now obviously all this talk is, let's bring in this white ball player, let's bring in that white ball player. And then there's this eminent question, this, evergreen question of like, well, does this guy want to play? Does this guy actually want to play test? Does this guy want to play test? If the season goes on a little bit longer, so it overlaps between different franchise league windows and stuff, so players can dip in, dip out. There is no excuse. There is no excuse. And these men have got enough money and they're playing in, IPO and Big Bash and whatever. Like, there is no excuse to just like come play like 1 4-day game, even or even 2 or 3 if we're lucky, just to say like, yo, I'm available. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think we need to create those types of situations where there is no excuse, because the federation, CWI, like, there's been a lot of justified criticism and whatever, but I think sometimes certain people, like, they fling dirt. I think people are too quick to trust some of the players, I think, when they fling. That's just my opinion.
Let me just raise this last point. You said we may as well just give players a run, right? So, or like whoever we're going to invest in now, like just give them a run. I'm just intrigued to know how long is a run for you, right? And before you give me the answer, I just want to remind everyone that at the end of 2024, Justin Graves had averaged 30. Obviously, he'd only played 4 innings. Hodge had averaged 29. This is in the calendar year. Athenaeus 25. Louis 24. Sinclair 23. Josh 22, Carty 22, Brathwaite 21, and Kurt McKenzie played at the start of the year 17. Now, most of those players have subsequently gone to Pakistan and not scored anything above 10. So all of their averages, apart from Brathwaite and Athenaeus, have probably gone even further down. So that means, and I'm sure there's somebody in the chat right now who can update it for me, but I would hazard a guess that Graves' average must now be like 27. Hodge, his average must be like 25, if not 24.
Hodge's average is higher.
Is it higher?
It's higher than it's higher than Graves.
Shut up.
Graves is like 21. Hodge is like 26, 27. I remember correctly.
Right. So can somebody in the chat give me or write in the chat what is the current set of averages? Take Craig out of it. You can even take Athenaeus out of it because they both scored 50s. What is the current average of our top 6? And then my question to you, whilst they're doing that, James, my question to you is, how long are you giving them? And in fact, I've just put this stat up. So Osprey went and did some research. West Indies have made 5 scores over 250 in the whole of this World Test Championship that they just played, which was 26 innings. How long do you give these guys to learn to bat?
You know what? Ideally, we'd be giving these guys fewer tests, but we don't play that many tests. So a lot of the guys that you've mentioned, I think Greaves has got 6 tests under his belt now. I think the likes of Hodge and Athenaeus is in the low teens. Obviously, Hodge is younger than both of them Athenaeus is younger than both of them. Hodge and Greaves are both in their like early 30s now. But I think they're on the precipice. I think you're looking at 15 to 20 tests. And context should be applied, you know, based on the nations that we play. Because obviously someone like Tay, she came in straight away, but we played like Zimbabwe and Afghanistan. I think we came in straight away and made runs, which I think got everyone very excited. But in his defense, he went to Australia. He did leave that series with a 50. Yeah. So I think the context needs to be applied. I think that, you know, that kind of double figures mark, you know, somewhere between 10 and 20, but ideally in the latter direction, I think that gives you an opportunity to look at a player, see where their technical deficiencies are in a variety of different conditions, you know, across different levels of opposition, and say, you know what, we've given them a fair run. And I think as well, ideally on a developmental aspect, you'd be giving them like clear goals. So even if you do drop them, even if you do send them back to, you know, the regional system, then it's like, you know, this is the area we want you to work on playing in swingers. Do you know what I mean? Or we want you to.
Then, okay, I like that point you just made there, actually. So, and actually, it links to the point I was just going to ask you. And President Natural, you're up next, by the way. If you're back, President Natural, you're backstage. So I'm coming to you in about a minute or two. But you see, so Leander Singh here has put, does Louis, for example, look like he could get better right now in tests? So Louis, for example, has played 9 tests. That is not enough to work out if he's going to make it or if he's not going to make it. But then at the same time, I can't help but feel that he looks a bit mentally shot. So do you say to someone like Louis, you know what? We're still investing in you. Obviously, it's peak for you right now, but we want you to go back and play for the Leeward Islands and work specifically on this. And provided you score a certain metric of runs, you're back in again for Australia. Or you send him back to first class and say, boy, we're kind of going to drop you still unless you make X amount of runs. Like
he's an exception to the rule for me, because he looks so short of confidence, because he's not really even shown what I believe to be the ability that he's potentially capable of. He's not even really shown that in bits and pieces, in streaks, you know, in a way that, say, Athenaeus, Hodge or Greaves have, you know, where they've chipped in with an occasional, like a rare big score, or, you know, a decent score maybe in like a couple warm-up games. I think that Machel Louis, he just looks so short of confidence, and that I think even Besset's technical deficiency, even, you know, Besset's ability, I think, you know, as you said, that he just needs to go somewhere and get runs now so he can bring that confidence back. So yeah, I would say he's an exception to the rule for me personally. And I think if he spends any longer in the team, I think there's a long-term risk there that it will struggle for him.
He doesn't recover.
Yeah. So I think we really do need to be careful now. But again, I think that's why we need to be mindful with the quality of opposition and what sort of tour, you know, we're doing when we bring in certain players. I think that's one thing that the bigger nations are more savvy to, not just with the bowling attacks, because obviously this series we were savvy with the bowling attacks. You know, we're playing on ranked turners. We've got to, you know, chuck the spinners in. And I think, again, the last point, because I know I've got to go in a minute so that a couple other people can jump on. We've got to be careful again. You know, what type of bowlers are they? Are they the people that generate their own turn? You know, are these spin bowlers that are only taking wickets because they were on turners? Because I think a few of the guys we have, some of the pitches they're playing on back home and a couple of these tours, I don't think that they can generate their own wicket taking deliveries, a lot of them. And like I said, I would, you know, want to do what England and India are doing and prioritizing some of the, you know, the profile of the spinners. You know, how many revs they get on the ball, how tall they are, what's their release point. I think these are the things we need to be looking at. And like I said, even with the batting, I think it's not a bad thing if we even just rested or dropped a couple batters for a tour like Pakistan and said, look, we think we're still invested in you. You're still our guy, you know. You'll be back in the side most likely for, you know, when we play England or Zimbabwe or whatever. But here in Pakistan, where the turning pitches, we need someone who plays on the front foot, or we need this counter-attacking trait that this person has. I think we need to make those type of selection decisions, because we know that we're not good enough in our batting department. So we need to try and find those marginal gains by making surface-specific and environment-specific decisions.
Fits the profile for the environment that we're playing in.
Boy, I'm sorry to say it, but it's a couple of the senior guys that we dropped in. I don't think we'll ever see the international side again.
Right. Well,
I'm not even going to mention their name, so
yeah. So
it's not even worth it. So
if I was in Kruma Bonner, and I've made this point already, but if I was in Kruma Bonner, even when they dropped me after Australia, a good cricket setup says, "Boy, we're going to." I'm not saying now, like his time has gone and been and passed.
Yeah,
now,
exactly.
But back then, a good cricket setup would look at his skill set and say, "Well, you are good though on low, slow pitches, and you've proved that every time we've played in those kind of conditions, in you come." But true say, I don't think we're ready for them type.
Yeah, no, 100%. No, but appreciate your time though, and obviously keep up the good work. I need to jump on the call-ins more often. I think the last one was definitely like a year or so ago.
I was gonna say it must have been time ago. But,
but West Indies, boy, I'm glad they gave me a win there, because honestly, it's causing me a lot of difficulty with the women in my life. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you saw you weren't out at the club last night. No, I was watching Test cricket.
You said women. You didn't even say woman.
Oh yeah. Well, you know it is.
Real galleys out here right now.
2025. I'm a free agent again. You know, just putting that out there. You know what I mean?
Right. Listen. Let me.
When we wanted the gabber, I must have fallen asleep on the sofa. Yeah, and the girl I was seeing at the time. She must have woke me up, bring me in. You see me? I'm not even getting used to my own bed because of West Indies.
Oh, I hear you.
But yeah.
Some people are with girl when West Indies are playing. Me, I run from gal, but that's all right.
Oh,
right.
Right. Anyway, in a bit, man. In a bit, appreciate you.
All right, then. Cool, later. Right. People, I need to turn the heating off. It's hot in this room, man. So there was me thinking that Neeks was the top Gallus. And all this time, it's Truscott who's the real Gallus out here. But Neeks is still undefeated out here, you know. He can still hold on to the crowd. Right. Right. President Natural's on next. Bear with me though, people. I need to turn this heating off. 1 second. Bear with me, people. I'm gonna be back in like 10. I had to turn that heating off. This is Keir Starmer's Britain, man. That heating being on might have all bankrupted me. I had to run and turn it off quick time. You can only heat your house in Britain for about 15 seconds before the bankruptcy starts. So I had to go save myself still before the bailiffs came to the door. I have to freeze up in this house right now. Okay, so let's go to President Natural. There was a comment I wanted to put up. Oh, Sapanda, yeah. So I got rid of Truscott before I even... So Panda said Truscott sounds like he does North London rap music. And here's the joke, Panda. Truscott does do music. So I meant to put that up whilst he was talking. I meant to check with him if he was fine for me to say that. I don't know if he's still in the chat. But if you go on YouTube, you can find his song still. He's... What would I call his music? Rap? Yeah, it's definitely rap. Rap, but also singing. But he doesn't go under the name Truscott. If he's still in the chat, he can link you lot to his music. But yeah, you were absolutely spot on. He's got his own bars still. If he's not in the chat, I'll put in the Discord later on because he may not want me to let all of you lot know. So yeah, let's hide that one. Right, President's on. Yes, President Natural, how you doing?
I'm good. You hear me?
I'm hearing you good and clear and loud.
Yes, family. First of all, Neeks is top Gallus, isn't it?
This is what I'm saying. I know you know.
Neeks is undefeated still. I thought I was bad when in my heyday, but Neeks taught me a thing or two. Neeks is the real G. Yeah.
He's the real lyricist.
Yeah. Neeks is different level. Levels to different. Yeah, me. Yeah, Brian Lara. Yeah, me. I might be Chris Gale, maybe Carl Hooper, but Neeks is Lara. Yeah, me. But yeah, you know what I want to say with this regarding, first of all, you see what CCP is doing is a brilliant thing, because we grew up me and my brothers thinking that we was the only West Indies fans in our age group we never have nobody to discuss cricket with unless we come home and discuss cricket. So to see people younger than me on here now discussing cricket, and it was wild when the man said, "This is the best bowling lineup he's ever seen." I'm thinking, what? Then he said he's 26.
Yeah, because when Shane said, when he first said that, I was like, I was like, wait a minute, what's he saying? And then I had to remind myself how old Shane is.
He's 26, isn't it? I'm saying, but we've seen Walsh, Ambrose, Bishop, Benjamin. We see all these. So yeah, it made sense, but it just shows that, you know, the legacy of cricket still continues, and you've given a platform for all of us to come together and, you know, express our love for West Indies cricket. The older man, them, I just leave them. You know why? Because some of these men support Tottenham, Liverpool, like these teams that haven't won anything for years, but they always talk about the glory days, but they don't stop supporting these teams. You see what I'm saying? But we now come and support West Indies, and it's a problem to them. Like, but you can support Tottenham unscathed. Like, until Liverpool won the other day, these men were die-hard Liverpool fans talking about the 80s. Yeah, so our love for West Indies is our love for West Indies. And if West Indies don't win a test match for the next 10 years, the love for West Indies will still remain. Yeah?
I mean, it will remain, but they will be testing me. If they don't, they will test me if they can't win one more, you know.
This is West Indies cricket, bro. A couple in there from the LA Lakers and a couple from Chelsea, but most of this is West Indies cricket.
Yeah,
you know. But just to say, you know, I don't drink Bajan rum. I don't think Barbados have good rum. So I want to raise this one here, St. Vincent.
Okay.
Warrican was born in St. Vincent. So we're going to raise this one for Warrican, born in St. Vincent, raised in Barbados.
You know what? I'm glad you said that, though, because I think a lot of people think that Jamel's Bajan, but he was actually born in Vincy, and I think some people don't realise that.
Yeah. I got a friend who lets me know that very regularly. he was born in St. Vincent. So I big up St. Vincent, but the Guyanese really won it for us. So we're going to raise one for the Guyanese, the Eldorado. For the Guyanese, 15 years. You know, we like what Django did when Django came in. So we'll raise one for Django as well, the punching.
Yeah, listen, don't mess with that punching, you know.
Serious business, innit? Serious business. And you know what? We're going to raise one for the incoming, the Denros, St. Lucia. We'll have a shot at that for Darren Sammy, who's incoming.
This is the real rum don, you know.
Yeah. And you know, Mash, there's none of us in the team in it, but we know the rum of all rum. So we're just going to raise this one for the spirit of rum. And just raise this one. I know this is the
nah. Put that one down. Put that. We don't need Ray. We don't need Ray in this one right now. Ray is a dangerous business. We don't need that one right now.
Yeah. Well, we're glad. Sometimes we're playing like we're taking a shot at Ray before the game anyway. So what I will say is this: there's two people in West Indies cricket who can't do no wrong for me, and that's Craig Brathwaite and Kimar Roach.
Okay.
They can't do no wrong for me. And that's because the two of them came into West Indies cricket at a time when we was down bad, real down bad, when all of the top guys walked out. Those two, man, Brathwaite's debut was that series.
Yes.
That everyone walked out. And he was, I think, 16 years old.
I think 18.
At the time,
I think he might have been 18, yeah.
And I think Roach had just come in to the team, but became the frontline bowler at that time as well.
Yeah.
And these men have carried the mantle for West Indies cricket from then till now. So they can't do nothing wrong. And when it's their time to go, they deserve a hero's exit out of the team.
Okay.
Like, they can't do nothing wrong for me. And I don't really, there's so much wrong with West Indies cricket. I don't think them, and if you actually read the squad that was in that test match, half of them man don't even exist like anymore. You see what I'm saying? And them two man have stood the test of time and continued. So like, I'm glad they're still there. And you know, like I said, if it is time on Brathwaite's career, I believe he deserves another test or another series where it's known this is his last one. So he can be celebrated. He's carried the mantle of West Indies cricket, and I think It was the brother that was on before just now. Truscott, his name is.
Yeah.
Truscott said something. We've been looking for an opening partner for him for years. I can't find one, and we understand cricket. 2 positions that require a partnership is opening batsmen and opening bowlers.
Yes.
And the best opening batsmen have somebody at the other end who is there for them.
Yeah.
He's never had that.
Yeah, true.
Not really.
True.
You know? So he's literally just been doing what the best that he can. I mean, within 5 overs, he's batting with 5 and 6. There's no one there to take the shine off the ball. And the kind of cricket that he plays, you need somebody at the other end.
Yes, I agree.
He's going to be the shot maker.
Yeah. And what I would say, jumping in there, is that, and I think Santoki and I have made this point recently, which is that familiarity breeds contempt, right? And because we can't find anyone else to cuss, I think people have just decided it has to be Craig who must take the cussing. But my issue with the cussing of Craig has always been people want him to do everything. They want him to blunt the new ball, be aggressive, bat long, bat deep, win the game, and everybody else is able to escape scrutiny as long as if Craig doesn't actually do whatever people project onto him, if he doesn't do that, he is the problem. And I think your point about having no opening partner is a deeper thing that people don't realize. Like we went through a period of time, probably from after COVID till now, even, where we've basically said, boy, our only hope is if Craig bats deep. That's literally how we've been playing Test match cricket for the last 4 or 5 years. Boy, Craig's going to have to do something. And when he doesn't do it, people now want to cuss him for not doing
Bro,
it.
a few years ago, I was reasoning with that big man, and he said something to me. He said, he was talking about Brathwaite, and he said, name a top opening batsman in the history of cricket, and I'll name their opening partner.
Right.
So he's been put into a position, and he's done the best that he can. Now, his captaincy, yes, he's laid back, but when you look at one of England's recent captains, Cook, he wasn't an overly flamboyant character, pretty boring, pretty laid back. But if he spoke to the players, they always said that he rallied the team in it. And I think he leads the team in his specific way. So
yes.
I just want to hail up those two as being like beacons and bastions for West Indies cricket for all this time. And if time is being called on their career, I believe that it should be known from the start of a series that this is either their last game or their last series, so they can be celebrated properly because of the time they came into West Indies cricket and, you know, the role that they've played from then to now. Now,
yeah.
Sorry.
Go on.
Yeah, so going on to the current test, to me, it has to be celebrated.
Yeah.
We have to celebrate it. We don't have the luxury of not celebrating it. At the end of the day, it could have been worse.
Yeah.
It could have been. In fact, in my brother's group, if Nick said, like, we could be all out for 50 tomorrow. And it would, and if that did happen, it wouldn't have been surprising.
Not at all. Not at all.
So for me, even the fact that there was a semblance of, oh, maybe we can. Because some people say, you know, if we make 80, if we make 90, we might be in the game. For me personally, 3-4 years ago, that game was done and dusted. We would have lost that.
Yeah.
So the fact that we thought that maybe they might pull it out the bag just shows that we've got a young core of players at the moment who there's some talent there. They're not ready. We know they're not ready, but they're in this position. And if somebody gets off, something might happen. And I think we just have to accept that's who we are and that's where we are.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that argument.
Celebrate the good times and cuss the bad times. Like, we're not going to stop cussing. We're Caribbean people in it. So we're going to cuss because we need to cuss. If we don't cuss, then we don't get the necessary oxygen intake that we need to exist. So we have to cuss. But we have to accept also that when we do have these good times, we need to celebrate it because these men ain't used to winning.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we just have to accept, all right, Cornet, this is what's happening in this test. The first innings was that. We reached here in the second innings. We won. Yes, it's against Pakistan, but even on Pakistan's day, they tailor-made that pitch to win as well. So we've gone to somebody's house. They've tailor-made the pitch for them, and we've won a match. And I think we have to celebrate that. What we can't do is get overexcited, because again, what the last brother said was important. Knowing how West Indies stay, we probably go into our next test match against New Zealand or whoever and bring the same three spin bowlers and one seamer. Completely different pitch. But that's just the mentality of West Indies cricket over the years. Weird decisions. Now, I said in the first test when you posted up, when you came on the live, it was me who posted and said 3 spinners is ridiculous. Now, I get it why on this pitch you picked the 3 seamers. But the seamer that you played in the first match and the seamer you played in the second match also both took wickets. Yeah. In the second match, the seamer you picked popped down. So they played no role in the second innings. So going forward, that can't be a formula. Knowing that West Indies fast bowlers have a tendency to break down. We have to rethink that mindset and that. So, boy, one more point I'm gonna make. You know what? Can you give me 10 seconds?
Yeah.
I can hear my daughter. Just give me 10
I know
seconds.
them ones. I know them ones.
Give me 10 seconds, bro.
Yeah. Whilst President Natural goes to deal with the next West Indies generation, who's next? So just to let people know, Shakes is on next. Young Badgery. I need to go bed, you know. I just realized what time it is. Oh my gosh. Shakes, Young Badgery, and then Neeks is going to finish it. Where's the averages? Somebody sent it. Was it Osprey? Is this the averages? Somebody put it? Was it Osprey?
Supposed to be sleeping, but got our own ideas, you know.
Well, yes, youngster. How you doing? Big up the West Indies. You know, we beat Pakistan. How you feel about that? Yeah, I feel that one. I hear that one still.
Oh, you know the girl, she's got West Indies clothes, you know. When she's born, she's got West Indies baby grows. She's got West Indies. She's got one that says, "Shush, I'm watching cricket with my dad."
I hear that.
We take this thing serious. And I see it. And bro, I almost threw them in. The other day when you made your comment, I can't remember what game it was, and you said you're done with West Indies cricket and you're not putting your kids through that ever again. You're gonna ensure they know what. I was watching that and I was sitting there. I'm sitting there with the clothes in my hand. I said, I thought to dash this away as well. You know, clearly, man. You get me? But no, there was one other point I wanted to make. Yeah, my thing is this as well with the team selection. Again, we have to accept that there's going to be chopping and changing at the moment. I'm glad. I know you're a big fan of wicketkeeper
Josh.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, and I find it very telling. You did a video on him one time, and I think it was a 16-minute video.
Yeah,
and you spent 16 minutes discussing his batting,
but didn't focus on the wicket keeping. Yeah.
And I find everyone that discussed him, they never speak. His wicket keeping is not good.
Right. So this is interesting. So you're the first person tonight to mention the wicket keeping. Now, I'm actually going to flip what you've just said, though, onto something that is in my head, but I don't think I'm ready for the argument. But it was just something I was thinking after test. A lot of people have come out of this test match praising Tevin Imlac's wicket keeping, and rightly so. I thought Tevin was very good behind the stumps, right? Tevin in the test series, I can't remember, somebody will post it, but I think Tevin scored like, I don't know, maybe 2 scores under 10, maybe an 11 or 14, and then a 31.
His numbers weren't great.
Yeah, it wasn't great, apart from the 31 in the second innings of the second test. And all I kept thinking to myself was, okay, where's the line now? Because with Josh, the line was he doesn't score enough runs, right? Even though we can get into the wicket keeping. With Tevin, everyone's talking about the wicket keeping, but my only thing is going to be we need to be consistent now, because in the modern era, and I agree with you, his wicket keeping's great, so I'm not criticizing that. But in the modern era, your wicket keeper needs to score runs. So I'm just going to be watching to see how many runs does, and I hope it's a lot, because at the end of the day, Josh is out because he deserves to be out. But Tevin then has to be held to the same metric in terms of runs. If you see what I mean, I can't fault the wicket keeping at all.
Yeah, and I think my issue with Josh is when he's behind the stumps, I don't feel his presence. I don't feel him. He's not becoming that extra member of the team. You've got 11 players there. Your wicket keeper's almost the voice of your wicket keeper is like the 12th man. It keeps you active. There's certain things that Imlat was doing that Josh doesn't really do. Slapping off the stumps. Keep the batsman. Like we had a couple of stumpings, like appeals and that. I didn't really see that on that. So I get, yes, your wicket keeper must be able to bat. But to me, your wicket keeper's job is to wicket keep. And there was fundamental flaws that Josh had in his wicket keeping that, to me, if he was that good a batsman, then put him in the team as a batsman. He wasn't good enough to the point where I'm saying, why not just put Hope in the team and make him wicket keep?
Well, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens next, because Josh is another one of those players who now has to go back to the first class season and make some runs. And I suspect
if he goes back and makes runs,
yeah,
I don't mind him coming to the team as a batsman.
Well, that's what I was about to say. If he does, he needs. If I'm Josh, my mentality now is, if I get back into West Indies team, I'm getting back into the team as a pure out-and-out batter. That's how he needs to be approaching it. I don't think he needs to. I would, and if he can help it, I'd say to, I think the Trini coach is David Furlong or something. I'd say to him, I don't want to wicket keep anymore. Like, I want to focus on. That's what Tevin Imlat did. Tevin Imlat wasn't even wicket keeping for Guyana the last season. He was just scoring runs. So if I'm Josh, I'm focusing on scoring runs first and foremost, and probably not even taking the gloves. So
you know what? Let me just make these points very quick and jump off, so I can just sort out this little one. One point I wanted to make quickly was there's one thing that's lacking in West Indies cricket that we haven't had. That's been lacking is that if you look at the teams that we've had over the last 15 years and how much they've chopped and changed, none of our players have had the luxury of having an experienced person at the other end to guide them through it. And if we look at other teams, they've had that. They've had an experienced guy who's there, you know, like in the middle of a Nova when you're going down, you're doing your gardening. You need someone to say, all right, cool, you're going good. I saw the ball's moving sideways. Stay behind the stumps. Don't flash your bat outside the off stump. Like, there's no one there to do that because they're all on the same page. There's no one there that's actually got the experience, that's been to Pakistan 4 times, knows how the pitches move out there and can guide. There's no, well, we've got the senior bowler, like Roach is there and that, but then the other senior bowler, I mean, like you said, he's got to sit down, which is meant to be Azari Joseph. So if Azari Joseph is at one end, guide for 7 and over in a test match, he can't really guide the young bowler because the young bowler's like, well, you're going for 7 over there. What were you really telling me? So yeah, you've got the likes of a Roach, but then we don't have enough experience to guide our players. The last point I wanted to make was years ago in the Holder's early captaincy. Remember, I think he took over from Sammy. I don't know if you remember, there was a match where Holder brought Sammy on to bowl for an over and then took him off. And Sammy wasn't happy. And there was a fielding where someone had thrown the ball, or the ball had gone to Sammy, and Sammy just let the ball go past him. And people was like, what are you doing? And Holder had to go up to him on the field and say, like, what are you doing? And they had a little back and forth on the field. This was in the early stages of Holder's career. Now, they played it down afterwards and they said, oh, it weren't nothing. But I don't think that the two of them had the best relationship at all from that time. So I hope Holder plays some parts in West Indies cricket. I still believe he's the best all-rounder that we've got. I believe he adds something to the team by way of a bowler. He needs to focus and do more. Fit his output as a batsman needs to fit his talent as a batsman, and I don't think he's doing that. And for the tail end of his career, I would like him to focus more on the batting. But with the ball in his hand, he's economical and he takes wickets. And I don't think we can afford to not have him in the team. So if there is any issues between the two of them, I hope it can get sorted out, because I believe at this stage of West Indies cricket, someone like a Holder is necessary. He's been a captain. He understands if he's batting six, he's going to be batting with the tail and with some of the lesser experienced top order batsmen. He can guide on both ways. So I hope whatever it is, but I do remember. I don't know if anyone in the chat can remember that what actual game.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go and try and find that. I've got a vague thing in my head, but I'm gonna go do some research on it and mention it in the next one.
But bro, once again, blessings and honor. Keep up the good work. Keep the fire blazing. And if you need a sexy coach for West Indies cricket, Lisa Hanna is the right man. I don't think it's Sammy or Coley. Yeah, Lisa Hanna should be the sexy coach of West Indies cricket.
All right, no problem. Take care,
yeah.
Yes, people. Who's next? Shakes. Shakes has got his own. Listen, this is the baby edition we're on right now, because I'm looking at Shakes backstage and he got a baby on his shoulder as well. Everyone's bringing. Listen, this is a big day for West Indies cricket. Everyone trying to bring the next generation through. Right. Okay. So let's bring Shakes on now. Right, let's bring Shakes on. Oh, hold on, there was something I need to bring up. Sorry. So Osprey had the averages. So these are the current averages of the West Indies batters. Obviously, Imlak and Jangu are left out of that because they have only just started. So Louis 19, Carty 17, Hodge 25, Athanaze 25, Graves 21, Josh 24. I mean, this is why I was making that point to Shane about, I totally agree with all the bowling stuff, but if that's your batting lineup, I don't know, unless the toss always goes in your favor, I don't see how you win many test matches with that. And that's why I made that point to Truscott about, but how long do you give these guys? Athanaze is he on 14 tests now? 13 or 14? And I'm not trying to say Athanaze should go. I'm just saying he's on 14. Like, what's the point? What's the point? Like, what is the moment where is the cutoff point where you go, yeah, I think you've had a long enough run? By the end of this year, providing all of these guys play, that would be 8 more test matches. Is that enough at the end of 2025? It's an important question to ask ourselves. And this is before we even think about if Sammy's even got his eyes on bringing anybody else into the team who's not even like part of the setup. Big up to Medvis. He did a super chat. I hadn't forgotten it, Medvis, if you're still watching. So Medvis says, these guys are good, but undercooked. They should be playing A-team internationals versus the USA, Canada, Bermuda, Ireland. Those teams will want to beat us. I actually agree with this. And I've always wondered, it's my biggest criticism of both territorial cricket boards as well as Cricket West Indies. We can talk and talk and talk about how we don't have the money for this, we don't have the money for that. The United States is literally, depending on which part of the States you go to, an hour and a half, 2 hours away from most, well, certainly if we use Jamaica as a metric, it's Miami to Kingston is what? Nowadays it must be 1 hour, right? Or Florida, 1 hour. There's a stadium in Florida. You mean to tell me that nobody can play the United States? We can't put together an A team and say, USA, come, let's just do a little thing. Like, these players need games. How much money would that cost to fly over 15 men on a 1 hour flight to go play in Florida? I don't understand how we're not able to do this stuff. And just give more game time. And people can cuss and say, but we're above the USA level, Bermuda level, Canada level. I don't care. Matches are matches. Game time is game time. What we do know is 7 first-class matches in a competition where legends are made is not enough game time. That much I do know. So you have to think outside the box. Anyway, let's get to Shakes. Yes, Shakes, how you doing?
Mash, what's good, man? How you doing? Can you hear me all right?
Wait. Who's putting down that big piece of snoring?
This one right here, bro. I keep trying to put him down, and he's just not having none of it. So
That's the snoring I want to be putting down right about now.
I know. I could see your eyes just budding you, so I was like, you know what, let me not keeping too long. Cause
Anyways, go on, man.
Oi, yeah. But how you doing, man? You good?
I'm good. You haven't been on here in a long time, you know.
No, yeah, it's been a long time. Big up all the Discord crew. Discord has really been the thing that's kind of kept me going throughout all of this, to be honest, because there's so many times where I've been this close to saying bun West Indies, and it's Discord that have kind of kept me like, hey, nah, you know what? Let me just go and watch this one match. Let me just get up and watch this game, because yeah, these guys they're stressing me out. I mean, look at my beard. Like, I saw my beard is grayer now than when I first started coming on the lives with you. Like, it's bad. So these guys are really testing me. But that said, really pleased with the result today. We've always got a rally. Like with Discord, I always kind of treat it like a outlet for kind of letting off our stresses and our steam and everything, and for venting about the state of West Indies cricket. We all know the state that it's in. We all understand where we're at. We all get that we're down bad. We get it. But we've also got a rally because it's our thing, you know. It's our thing. And these guys today, they delivered, you know. And I want to give a bit of love to Warwick. I mean, lots of the callers have been great today in this episode. But I want to give a bit of love to Warwican because I think it's something you said in the Discord where he's that kind of player who just makes the most of what he has. And I always respect players like that. You know, anybody who recognizes their strengths and their limitations and just maximizes the most out of it, and gets the job done. That is somebody I will value, you know, far more than somebody who can do flashy bits, but you know, only once in a blue moon. So to me, like that's a much more reliable kind of person to have around. So yeah, I gotta give him some love. And Starboy as well. You know, Jaden Seals just continues to be fantastic. In, you know, every time I see him, he seems to get better and better with every game. And I really do hope that we can help him manage his fitness and his career, because he's had some serious injury problems. So, you know, I really do hope that we can do that, because again, as you've said before, we've got a generational talent on our hands there. And we really need to be, realizing that and building our team around that going forward. But
let me ask you something, though, just off that, because as you were saying that, something came into my head, and it was like, and maybe I'm being too naive, right? But we saw this team win in Australia. Most of these guys played in Australia. We've just seen this team win in Pakistan. How do they make the transition from producing miracles that we don't expect to just, and listen to what I'm asking for here, because I'm not asking for victories. How do they make that transition to just being competitive? Because I'm not actually asking them to go and beat Australia or beat India or beat New Zealand. I'm just asking them to turn up and not get licked down. But the problem is we go from here to here. Like it's not like we're just in and around. Like, so you can still have the miracles, but your general base level, I just want their base level to be higher. If you see what I mean. I'm not even asking them to win too tough. Just always look like you could win, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, it is. I mean, again, I think I'm probably pinching Neeks' point here. So big up Neeks, because I'm sure it was him who said it in the Discord. But he kind of mentioned that we need to kind of get to a point where we're winning we're not even talking about winning matches. We're talking about winning sessions consistently. Because at the moment, we don't even do that really. We can have like 2 good sessions, and then maybe the afternoon session, it just all drifts away from us, and then we find ourselves in a difficult spot again. So if we can get to a point where we can consistently kind of manage sessions in 4-day games and say, okay, we're staying competitive within those sessions, and we haven't let things drift too far. You know, there's always going to be periods in a game, especially in a test match, where the opposition might counterattack or do something that's going to make you have to adjust and change your game. But as long as we can do that and stay competitive in those moments, then I think we can start to put the bits and pieces together. But obviously, again, you know, we can do that when we've got a batter who can average over 30 consistently. At the moment, we ain't got that. So, you know, it's very hard to, as you said just before, you know, we came on the call, it's very hard to really talk about, as great as the bowling attack has been for us, it's hard to talk about going anywhere forwards in terms of doing things differently without having at least somebody in the batting lineup who can put their hand up and say 5 or 6 times out of 10 is going to, you know, give us a score or dig in or do something to kind of help us through a tight situation. And in the past, that's been Craig, I guess, which is why I've always kind of recently I've kind of been like, just why are people now suddenly turning on Craig? I don't understand it, like, because he's been the one guy usually who can dig us out of a hole when we get into a hole. And when we were grindballing it up, I didn't mind it so much because, you know, we might have had Bonner and Bravo and JDS there, and they might have been facing all, you know, 200 balls, but they put up a 50 for their 200 balls or something.
Yeah.
You know, something to get us kind of in the game still. So I guess we're trying to find our way back trying to find a balance between the potentially good bowling attack that we have and some stability in the batting. And I guess once we can do that, we can then kind of move into being more consistent. Because as I said, I'm realistic like you. I don't expect us to go out and bust up teams. I just want us to be competitive. So, you know, hopefully that's what we'll get.
Well, I mean, I guess the hope is that we look at this championship upcoming, and what I would just implore people to do with the championship upcoming is don't get distracted by raw numbers. Obviously, that's important, but I think we just have to look beyond just raw numbers. It sounds weird, but almost, obviously the runs will come if you can bat sessions. So rather than focusing on who got a century, it's literally like picking little achievables, like, did you bat 2 sessions? Who was able to just even bat 2 sessions? And then start your kind of your kind of top list from there. Like, who was able to regularly bat a whole session or bat a session and a half? And I can tell you this, it won't be many people. So start your analysis from that point. And they've even got to deep dive, they even have to dive a bit deeper than that and look at things. I don't know if we've got the stats to do it, but look at things like full shot percentage. Because a man can score 120 in our regional cricket and his full shot percentage is high, and a man can score 70 and actually it's a well-controlled inning. So I think they just have to break down the metrics even deeper to find the batters where they're like, okay, it's not as simple as whether you're in the top 5 run scorers. We saw things which suggest you have the tools that we can work with over time. I don't know what else to say, really.
I think that's all we've kind of got left, really, isn't it, at this point? I don't really know much more that we have, because we know that the cupboards are bare in terms of, you know, the actual players themselves. Talent is thin on the ground. So it might have to be that we look at it, as you said, break it down in that sense and have a look at it from that point of view. So yeah, we shall see. But I will be here rallying as ever. You know, as I said, this generational curse of West Indies is gonna stay with me to my grave. I'm trying to keep my children away from it as much as possible. I do not want my kids to go through the sufferation that West Indies have made me go through. But I will still be here. But big up to yourself and to Santoki as well, and much love to the CCP family as well, man. Because really, this. Until I found you guys, I was scraping the bottom of the barrel, looking for Caribbean content that put everything in context and really kind of presented cricket not just as a sport but as our culture, and how important it is to us. And I think CCP really kind of embodies that as well. But yeah, let me go because this child is taking a piss with his snoring as well.
Listen, generational talent. We're all creating generational talents, West Indies. But listen, go and put the young one down, and I'll catch you soon.
Yeah. But big up everybody. Big up yourself, Mash. And
no worries. Take care. 2 back-to-back young generational talents. We're trying our best. CCP community trying their best to find one batter for the West Indies. Sheikh's trying his best. Natural Mystic trying his best. I got a daughter. She gonna open the batting for the West Indies women. We're trying our best. We know we can't leave it to Cricket West Indies to develop the next set of youths. So CCP trying their best to put together a team. Right, 3 callers left. Oh my God. Fam. Let me just take a little wheel. Let me take a bit of a yawn right now. And just take a little bit of a break right now. 1 second, people. Let me just look at this. Okay, 1.8. Okay. Who's up next? Young Badgery. So it's Young Badgery, Neeks, and then Josh. By the time I get to Josh can't take 27 minutes, Right. Anyways, Young Badgery. Let's bring Young Badgery on. My eyes are stinging. I haven't even ironed my shirt for work tomorrow. That's how bad it is right now. I need to go iron my shirt. Jaja. Right. Has anyone clipped that part and sent it to Cricket Forum to let him know I'm not debating him? I'm not debating Cricket Forum. He needs to go and have a mass debate with someone else. Right, let me move on to Young Badgery. Oh God, man. Right, Young Badgery, let's go. Right, yes, Young Badgery, what's his name?
Hello, Mash. What's up, people?
I might just let you talk, and I'll just listen.
Yeah, Mash should go eat an X Magnum, drink some water, brush his teeth.
I actually need to. Actually, you know what? Do you mind holding the fort for a bit?
Yeah, no problem. I'm used to it.
I'm coming back. I'm gonna brush my teeth. 1 second.
Nice. Well, here I am once again. It's the werewolf hour. What's the occasion? Let me see. How do I do this? That's all you'll get. That's it. That's all you get. Oh, well, hello, people. Back at it. It feels good to be up. I've been down bad, barely sleeping, struggling to drive to work. But it feels good waking up to see a West Indies win. It's been too long. But yeah, I didn't want to be pessimistic and like bring down the team and be like, oh, we've ended up with like no serious wins, but we have to big them up. Big up Warwick, big up the man. I mean, I remember going to that South Africa test and me, Panda, Fireball, we were all watching and wondering, well, when Warwick's going to come in. And then I feel like seeing him get 2-2 at the end of the day was probably one of the best experiences I've had in a while. And just to see that come up and see him overtake who we would have thought was probably going to be our strike ball in Moti was good to see. Now there are concerns. I am worried that if 9, 10, and 11 put up top scores again, I feel like some serious questions have to be asked. But where to start? I feel like looking at it. Well, I shared that picture in the Discord where there was some uncles saying that in the last decade West Indies won a test in Australia, Bangladesh, Pakistan, England, but every single one of those tests it was nearly an entirely different team. The only consistent one was Craig. So it feels hard to make that comparison because even looking at this series going into Australia, you can imagine it might be at least the next 2-3 changes. Because of me, Louis, I feel like Louis might be gone. Carty might be up next. And you'd only assume Holder might, or rather, Greaves will come back out for Holder. But yeah, I'll just have to wait and see about that. But yeah, it definitely seems like even while this was a very challenging win, it does feel like some people might probably will be out after this. What do y'all think? Let's see. Fireball's now Jamaican. Oh my goodness. Panda. Panda down bad. Yeah. I think looking at it, I think something Sammy could do is try to avoid a Kirk situation where someone could probably be down horrendous in 4-day championship and say, you know what? Maybe it's not worth carrying them to play against Australia. Let's see if we can get someone else.
Hold on, I'm back. What was that last point?
No, just saying that given how we had Kirk essentially used up his premium in 1 day. So I figured if someone could be our top scorer against Australia and Australia, have a down bad 4-day championship, a down bad series, and just drop from the squad, probably never to be seen again. I'd imagine Sammy might try and avoid that with Australia this time. But the question is, looking at how many people have been down bad, there's a chance that if they also have another down bad 4-day championship, some people you might see a little more people lose their chance of making it back into the squad.
Okay, so are you saying that? Let me rephrase it this way: of the squad of the batting lineup that was in Pakistan, who has to score some runs in the first class championship?
Definitely Louis, because I think he's probably the one who has to work on the most technical aspects of his game. And then I feel like Alec might just need the confidence. Just because, yes, this 50 probably secured his spot for the rest of the year. But it does feel like, at least to me, when he does have his moments, he sometimes has probably some of the lower lows. Even while some of the others do have like fairly consistent lows.
What about Hodge?
Who?
Kavem Hodge.
I think for me, I'm fine with Hodge's strike rate. I think what he might have to do is probably put up maybe some grittier innings just to show he got some more fight in him. Because we've seen him fight up for like 20s or 30s. But then that's really it. Apart from that 100.
And well, I guess Django's spot is secure, obviously.
Yeah.
And number 3, Graves probably is secure for now. So really, you're looking at Hodge, Louis, and Alec.
Yeah.
Boy, well.
Yeah, times are tough, but
yeah, it's gonna be interesting because what we don't know is if Sammy's eyes are looking at the West Indies Championship for new talent, or if he's already decided. I think Sammy's already decided who's coming in. I don't even think he's going to study this West Indies Championship too tough. So, for example, I strongly believe that Brandon King is coming into the Test side. I strongly believe that's going to happen.
Yeah, I can see that too.
What I don't know is if Sammy has already decided Brandon's coming in regardless, or if he was waiting to see who can I bring him in for. Because to be fair, Werewolf, I was even surprised that Django, although I expected Django to play the second test, there was a part of me which thought Carty's only just got into the team.
Yeah.
Is it a bit too soon to tell him move out the way for Django? But then the other side of me is you have to be ruthless, and that it doesn't.
Yeah.
It shouldn't matter how soon. Like cricket's a weird game because in football and other kind of team sports, if somebody's done bad, you just drop them. You don't worry about but they need a run of games. If they've had a shocker, they're just out. Whereas cricket,
Yeah.
I don't know how many games are like cricket where it's like, but you've got to give them 15 games before you can decide if they're not good enough. Like, and maybe that's a naive way of looking at things, but I was surprised to see them because Carty did what? He played South Africa, played Bangladesh. So what's that? 4 test matches, 1 in Pakistan, and they've said, yeah, you're done.
Yeah. I mean,
So
it is a shorter run, but I do feel like seeing as those probably weaker teams compared to the others who had like England, Australia.
okay, yeah, true.
But then going back to how it's been dropped, I was looking at the numbers, and then I think Myers got dropped after only 7 tests out of 50. Reefer was 5. Tage, I think, was 14. So
yeah.
even though he had the longest run without a 50, I don't want to say it's warranted, but I feel like at the time, probably giving him the run might have helped, given that he was just coming off of that double ton.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, we're gonna see. We're gonna see how Sammy approaches this, but we take the win. We take the win all the same.
Yeah.
And I think probably one of the problems with Test cricket is we have to wait 6 months or 5 months for the next engagement. So anything could have happened between now and then. So we can't even really make too much pronunciations about it, or pronouncements, I should say.
Yeah, that's the issue. I mean, Craig hasn't even probably gotten even used to an opening partner, because he might have gotten used with Tage, and then Tage was gone. And then Louis was there at times, but not really.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever brought up the point about Craig probably struggling because he knows that whoever's next to him might not make much runs, and then whoever comes in right after that might also not make much runs. But we'll have to see how it goes. I think at most it might be tough to bring in a new number 2 and 3. But they did it with Tage, and I think they brought about Tage and Alec right after, and then Louis and Kirk. So I just don't want to be a pattern.
Oh, well, you've raised some good points there. Let's see how it all unfolds. But what, like I say, I think I can't remember which caller I said it to earlier on, but I can't remember who I said it to, but this West Indies Championship is probably the most eagerly anticipated in a long time. So even though I'm kind of all cricketed out, I'm looking in on Wednesday to start to look at who's putting up performances and what might that mean, and so on and so forth. So I would suggest everybody locks in.
Yeah. The other concern is that seeing as some of these men have just come off of a development tour, if they do good in 4-day championship, I'm worried it might provoke another early call up.
Yes, actually, I will be looking out for the catfish. I'll be looking out for the catfish 200s or the big hundreds, because we've already seen what selectors have done in the past, where one big score is enough to just guarantee you a West Indies call up, and I'm not behind that whatsoever. I cannot support that. So,
while yes, you can say, this developmental work, they're making runs. It will be hard to go from mashing up Jason Mohammed to probably fighting up against Stark and Hazelwood.
Yeah.
And need some iron.
But even then, they could. I was talking about that thing about diving deep into the stats. If they know that the test against Australia is going to be based on pace, well, look at which batters played well against pace in the region. But again, I don't know. Maybe they do this stuff already, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Right, listen, Werewolf, I'm probably going to try and go to the last 2.
Yeah. The big up West Indies. Seeing us win probably predominantly with the batter is greater. Yes, we bowled well, but I think us batting set it up, which is something I probably might not have thought I would see in a while.
Yeah, that's a good point. Everyone spoke about the bowling, but at the end of the day, they did score the highest score in the Test series with 243. And then they were sounds weird to say that contributions of 30 are key contributions, but on a pitch like that, they were key. So Django, Imlak, Craig, and then obviously the tail at the end adding 40 as well. So yeah, we have to praise them for that.
Yeah.
All right then, cool. I'm gonna go to the last two callers.
Yep. Good night.
No problem.
Take care, people.
Before I go to Neeks, let me bring this comment up. So Winston King said Django looked like the real deal. And I just want to speak on this point because I've seen this a lot. I've seen this a lot since the end of the second Test. Can I just say to people about Django, and I like Amir Django. I do actually think that Amir Django is a talented player. But can I just say we shouldn't be making such big pronunciations off the back of one Test match? And can I just also point out that in that one Test match, one of his scores was a duck. So can we just stop? Please, can we stop this? This is how we end up in the situation we end up in. The man has played one Test match and got a duck, and then, yes, a well-compiled 30. That don't mean man's the real deal. How did you make that jump? How are you lot making that? What are you lot seeing that I'm not seeing? He's good. Don't get me wrong. He looks like he might be okay. But we're talking about West Indies and you lot are saying real deal. We don't even have anyone averaging 27 in the middle order, and you're immediately found someone who's the real deal. You're better than everyone else then. Real deal. When I tell you lot that Craig is the real deal, you say he's not, and he averages 33. So how's Django the real deal? Come on, man. Let these guys just develop normally. And let's see after 10 matches if man's the real deal. It's like Imlak. People want to tell me that Imlak's the real deal already. And I'm like, but I swear he didn't score no runs either. Obviously he got the 31, but then again, maybe that's where we're at in West Indies cricket. About 6 months ago in the Discord, we started to joke and laugh about how quarter centuries that players should raise the bat after getting to a quarter century. It started out as a joke, but now I think it's serious. I actually think it's a real thing. I actually think when our players reach 25, I actually legitimately think we might have to start celebrating. I'm not even joking. It looks like I'm just having a laugh, but I'm not even joking. It's that deep. It is that deep. So, anyways, let me get to Neeks. The gal dem sugar, the real lyricist. Let me bring Neeks on. Yes, Neeks.
Listen, I ain't got no woman and I ain't got no picnic. But you and Natural and Shakes coming here with the next generation of West Indies cricketers, and I'm the gal dem sugar. I said, boy, I don't know about that.
Listen, Neeks, you've had to wait a long time.
Yeah, so and I'm not going to keep you long either, car. Like you, I got work tomorrow, but you wake up earlier than me, so I already done Night MashUp while I was waiting, so I'm all right. Listen, first thing I'll say is, because a lot of what I was going to say has been said already, so it ain't even going to be a long one. First thing I'll say is, we ain't going 0-10.
Yeah,
we ain't going 0-10. And remember, we had a discussion on the live. It might have been December potentially, and we said, where's the win coming from? And I said to you, if you asked me specifically which Test match we're going to win, I couldn't tell you. Under the law of averages or probability rather, we should lose every single one of those test matches, or at least we definitely ain't winning one.
Yeah.
But I was confident that we'd win one.
Yeah.
I don't know which one. I don't know against who. I don't know the circumstances, but somehow we'll pull off a victory against somebody. I wasn't expecting to be Pakistan. I wasn't expecting Pakistan in the first series of the year. So we take it like we did last year. We got that potential embarrassment of not winning a test match in a year off our back from the start of the year. But what we can't do, or what we shouldn't do, is fall into maybe a trap that we fell into last year. I don't know, where we won that test early and then in the year against Australia, and the next one we won was in a series against Bangladesh at the end of the year. And that may well happen this year. And as a matter of fact, we may not win another test for the rest of the year. But I would argue that the way we performed throughout the year, even in that Bangladesh series itself, that test at the beginning of the year actually meant nothing. It had no bearing on the rest of the way we performed throughout the year. The England series over here.
That's an interesting take. I agree with you, but I pause you there just because I wonder if people in the chat will agree with you, because we spoke about the Shamar Joseph heroics, and by the end of the year, we weren't talking about nothing anymore.
No,
to the point where
go on.
Yeah, to the point where we were talking about how have Bangladesh just beaten us. So I guess what I ask you then is, if we started this year with a win in Pakistan, what now does a good test year look like? Because by the time we get to New Zealand in December, no one ain't remembering Pakistan anymore. So what would a good test year? So Brian has put this question. Brian's put, Mash, you laughed at Santoki when he called for 2 wins. What's the over under now? And that's true. I said that I thought we'd go 0-1-9, but the 1 being a draw, right? Now we're 1, right? And 1 and 2, right?
1-1.
Or 1-1. If you start a test year with a win, I think you have to. It doesn't matter that we're not playing someone as rubbish as Bangladesh. I think you, by the bare minimum now, the metric is, well, you have to get another win.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
I don't know where it's coming from, but I think the metric now is, for this win to mean something, you have to get another win at some point in the year. Is that fair?
I think that's fair, and I think the fact that this group of players, and this may not be the group of players that actually potentially go on that search for the extra win for the rest of the year, but this group of players, give or take, got a win against Australia a year ago, got a win against Pakistan yesterday, or today, even this morning. So within the last 12 months, we had 2 significant wins away, one based on the strength of the opposition, the other based on the conditions that we were in. So I don't think it's an obscene target to say, yeah, we should be aiming or expected to win 1 more test throughout the year. People said New Zealand away is going to be tough. Yeah, Pakistan away was tough. Australia away was tough. But we can't be going there saying, yeah, we're going to lose 3-0. And even Australia coming to West Indies, we can't be expecting, yeah, Australia going to beat us 3-0. Even if we get 2-0, we get a draw. We have to go there. Yeah, we have to go there with an expectation that we can't just allow Australia to come to the Caribbean and beat us 3-0 and think that's okay. It may happen, but we can't go into it thinking, and that's okay, because it's not okay.
No, it's not. No, that's a good point. No, it's not. And actually, let me add to it. What I don't want to see is, when we beat Australia last year, I'll freely admit, I went into the England series, which was the next engagement after Australia. I went into the England series thinking, yeah, we're going to do something. I thought we'd do something. I knew we had an inexperienced team. I was like, yeah, we're going to do something. And we didn't. And that was disappointing. This time round, we have to do something.
Yeah.
Like, they're not inexperienced. I mean, they are inexperienced, but they can't.
They're not the same as they were last year.
They're not the same level of inexperience. Like Hodge, by the time Australia turn up, Hodge and Athenaeus, for example, if they're still in the team, will be in like 13, 14. You're not inexperienced anymore. if you see what I mean. So,
But the point I was going to go on to was, like I said, there was many points that I was going to raise, but I don't have to raise them now. Brathwaite was mentioned, and listen, I was so happy Brathwaite made a half century, because I don't want Brathwaite to be dropped from this team. And if he went through this series, considering the year he's had, and didn't make a score, and then we lost 2-0, potentially in embarrassing fashion, then the calls for him to be dropped would have been louder.
yeah,
And the possibility of him being dropped and the understanding, like, say, let's say Sammy wanted to drop Brathwaite, it would have been very easy for him to do it now if he had failed in that last test and we lost the series. Now, even if that was his inclination, it makes it difficult for him to do. And I think keeping him in the side and probably as captain, at least for the first series, is the right move. So I'm happy he made that, because I think it's the right thing that he stays on. So I don't have to go too much in the Brathwaite in terms of the captaincy, etc. But you raised the point about Andre Coley, and it's on the back of, I guess, Jason Holder's post on Instagram as well. And I think I kind of made mention to it in the group, and I said a change has to be made. And this isn't a slight on Andre Coley. It's not. And I said, I think, if I'm right, he's still going to be within the West Indies setup.
Yeah, some kind of developmental role.
Yeah, so obviously they value his skill set. But the point that Shane made on a previous live, which I guess you seconded, if not didn't necessarily disagree, is in terms of what is the identity of West Indies. So even though Andre Coley has got some decent individual results in the last 2 years as West Indies coach, we have no identity. So I'm not even talking about we need, as you said earlier, we should be winning these games. I'm not putting that pressure, or not pressure, but to say he needs to be sacked because he didn't beat England, because he didn't beat South Africa, because that's not it. What identity is the coach and the selectors implementing into our cricket? And I would say, as we've agreed, that over the last 2 years, since Phil Simmons and is it Monty Desai left, we have no identity. So at some point, you do have to look at the coaching and the selectors, some of the selectors who have gone, to say, well, what's your role in this? Because you're not teaching these people how to bat per se, or that you shouldn't be when you come to international cricket. You shouldn't necessarily be teaching them how to bat. We're not expecting you to get wins on a regular basis because the quality is not there. But what is your philosophy going into these games? And I think we've lacked a philosophy, and I think that even contributes to the way that Brathwaite captains the team on the field, because he's coming from a position of more on a grind ball, but then we've got players whose maybe natural inclination is more on an attack, whether they're good enough to do it, but it's more an attack. So we're kind of playing two styles of football. Eric Ten Hag, press from the front, but drop deep, and you got a big midfield gap in between, and there's no real identity, and that's why you get cut open. And I think for that alone, it's not even about Andre Coley should be sacked. I wouldn't want to use those kind of words, but for that alone, a change had to be made. And I think obviously a change was made with the selectors panel, the Desmond Hayes, etc., being removed. And now a change being made on the head coach. And I think whether we agree necessarily or not that Darren Sammy should have all this power, a change had to be made in terms of the way that we select these players, the players that we are reaching out to, in terms of constructing a side, and also the way we want to play cricket. Whether that is to grind it out and try and get as many non-losses as possible, whether they're draws or wins, or we're going to say we're going to attack because our players, that's their best form of defense, so to speak, or that's their most natural game. And I think that is what I'm hoping, more than anything, more than wins, more than any of that. That's what I'm hoping to see between now and the end of the year, is an identity that Sammy can imprint and decide to say, all right, when we go into a test match, we know how these players are going to play. Not how they're going to perform, but we know how they're going to play. And I think that's why a change had to be made. It's not a slight on Andre Coley. It's not even a slight on all the selectors, etc., as individuals. But the structure of how we compiled our test team has been jumbled for at least 2 years. And I think there needs to be some kind of clear one-track thinking in terms of this is how we want to play. And again, similar to how Ben Stokes and Brendan McCullum, I'm not expecting results like they did. But you go into a test where you know how England are going to play. And I think that's what we're expecting from Darren Sammy in 2025.
I hear that, and I think the evidence to what you're saying is simply the white ball sides. The white ball sides, we know their identity. It doesn't matter. Well, it does matter, but it doesn't matter the win-loss rate. It does. Obviously, it does. But what I mean is we can all clearly see how the T20 side is supposed to play. We can all clearly see how the ODIs. So if that's the rationale for why they've brought Sammy in, then I can get behind that, and I can see the understanding for it.
But yeah, I'll leave it there. It's midnight now. I'm gonna go to my bed. You got one more caller, so good luck with that. No, but yeah, but listen, but all in all, we have to still big up the guys. Yeah. And I think we because we don't win much, like Natural Mystic said, because we don't win much, and we know that some of these players watch the bit of content. I want them to feel happy that they've won. I don't want it to be you won, but you won, but. We know there's a bigger but. We know there's a bigger issues, but big them up because that was never going to be easy. I didn't expect it. But when I woke up this morning, I was like, we're going to win this game.
Yeah.
And that was not how I felt when I woke up on day one when we were 57 for 8. I woke up and Roach was batting, and I said, what the brass is going on? So, listen, well done, Craig Brathwaite. And well done, Andre Coley, on your last match as West Indies coach. Innit?
For real. Listen, I'm going to go to the last caller.
Yeah, bless up.
All right, take care, yeah. Right, yeah, as Nick said, people, we have to big up. And that's the overriding statement. No matter what, we have to big this lot up because a win is a win is a win is a win. And there is no West Indian fan in the modern era who is used to wins. We are not in any position to take wins for granted. We're not Australia where we can be like, well, of course you won that match. Like we're not. So yeah, do you know what? TC warned me when I started this at 9 o'clock. TC said to me, this is going to end up being your longest live. I'm so desperate for bed. Where's my... Hold on, Josh. Where's my... One second, people. One second. Hold on. Let me... Where's my ting? 1 second. Josh... I had to find my night bonnet. How you mean? A man must wear night bonnet, yes. Have to protect the locks, you know. So I've got to wear my night bonnet. How you mean, people? You don't have a night bonnet? Jaja. That is it. Yes. Listen, I'm about to bring Josh on, but I'm letting Josh know my night bonnet is on. So it must be bedtime soon, yes? Yes, my night bonnet. Let's. Oh my God! Listen, you can't. There's no other show like this, people. Right? Let me bring Josh on. Yes, Josh.
It's only 7 p.m. over here in the match. It's only 7 p.m. around here. But how are you doing, Mash?
I'm good.
I'm not gonna keep it. I'm not gonna keep it too long. Then you hear. The only thing I would say, I have a challenge for you, Mash. If you can give me a show for an hour or less, I will personally help you tour the Caribbean this summer. I will personally do it.
Did you say a show?
Yeah, so remember, you do your live streams every Monday, and every time you do it, you say, oh, this is going to be a quick one. Meantime, I sing 2 hours and 10 minutes, Listen,
so my
challenge to you. I challenge you. Give me a 1 hour show. I dare you to do it.
On CCP.
Yes.
Be my guest. Be my guest. After this call, not straight after this call, but tomorrow, send me a message. Let's make it happen. There's several things that I have to create to make it happen, but we can make it happen. You just need to come up. Wait, do you want to just wait? Do you want it to just be your thing or a new or a sub show?
No. You always do your shows and you keep saying you're gonna keep it short. And every time I look, it's a 2 hour show. So my challenge is I bet you to do a 1 hour show, which you can't even do.
Sorry. I thought you were saying sorry, I totally misunderstood. Boy, next I can anyways, I don't even know. One time I did a 1 hour show, One time.
Yeah. Only one time was ever 1,000,000 times. Anyway, big man. Big up yourself though. I appreciate the work that you do, man. I always am grateful, you know what I mean? Let me just keep it quick because I know you want to sleep. I think we should just end the year now, man. 50% win rate. Nah, man, let's end the year, man. This is the best West Indies ever have. You know what I mean? We'll never get a 50% win rate ever in history, people. Let's just end the year right now.
So wait,
end
what
the
are you
year
saying?
now.
You're saying that we can't beat Australia?
Big man. I'll be on the beach when them man played. I'll be sipping rum and chilling with women and thing,
Listen, one of the games is at Sabina,
Yeah, I'm pulling up to that. I'm pulling up.
I have to be there. The only problem will be if it's in June. It won't be holidays here yet, but I have to find a way.
For what I know, it's the last week of June or the first week of July. That's what I've heard.
Okay, I have to see if I can make it happen.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, that's what I think. But no, I think it's important that we won this. We needed this, and I'm very proud of the boys. I want to big them up. And I only want to talk about Josh De Silva because everyone's spoken about other issues, and I don't think we've spoken enough about the keeping thing. And I do agree with you, Mash. I think Josh needs to put down the gloves and is coming and play as a batsman. I actually think he can actually bat. I really think he can bat. I think he can bat so much to the point that I think he can bat at number 4 or 5 quite easily.
So funny enough, I asked Josh this. I think it was on a live once, and I said to Josh, where would you bat if you didn't have the gloves? And I think he said it depends which team, but I think, unless I'm mistaken, I think he said for Trinidad he would bat 4 if he didn't have the gloves. And I think he said for West Indies, if he didn't have the gloves, he'd bat 6. Or that's where he'd see himself batting. So, but ultimately, like you say, as you just said, I think he could do with a season of just batting.
Being a batter, just put down the gloves.
Be a batter.
Yeah, man. Tell your Trinidad coach David Fowler, big man. I not keep tell Django to do that. You understand? Because I think Django's the wicket keeper. So
Django can wicket keep. I don't actually know. I don't know if any of the Trinis are still in the chat. I'm trying to remember who Trinidad's wicket keeper is with Django and Josh not there. The name will come to me soon, but can't remember who it is right now.
Yeah, I think it's Salazano. It's not Salazano.
No, because he's with the Windward Islands, but I want to say, anyways, I'll wait for one of the Trinis in the chat to tell me.
So, but that's what I want to talk about, Mash. I know you want to go to sleep, so I don't want to take it too long. You know what I mean? So big up West Indies. Thanks for the win. I think, but even though Mash, I said I think we can win in New Zealand. That's the one I think we can get. Oh, this is the last point. Do you think, Mash, we should carry these spinners to India? Or do you think India is going to make sure we don't? Well, to be fair, all of the pitches in India turned anyway, so
India doesn't have to make India doesn't have to make a significant raging turn. They can just have a pitch. I think the question mark for me is actually Kevin Sinclair. If we haven't, Kevin Sinclair's name hasn't come up at all today. Multi will go to, if everyone's fit and everyone's available, Multi and Warwick can go to India. I don't think that's up for debate. The question for me is the off spinner, which is the debate for me. And the question that people have to answer for me is what do they think Sinclair is in the team to do? Do they primarily see him in the team to score runs, or do they primarily see him in the team to take wickets? Now, if it is the latter, Sinclair in this series took 5 wickets at 35 apiece. And all I want people to tell me is that what your best off spinner should be doing? And that's not me that's none of that, Josh, is about me trying to target Kevin Sinclair. It's just me raising the necessary question. What do people see him in the team to do? Are the runs a bonus, or are the runs the expectation? Is the bowling a bonus, or is the bowling an expectation? I would love to know what his role definition is.
And that's the thing, because in the regional season, he's scoring a lot of runs, but he's not. He doesn't take a lot of wickets, so it's kind of weird with him. You understand? Now, I'm gonna throw this out there. You might say no, but why haven't we considered someone like Akil Hussain?
So, someone said that to me the other day. They were like, Mash, you've mentioned all these white ball players that Sammy might be thinking about. Why have you not mentioned Akil Hussain? And in fairness, I said, you know what? I hadn't even considered that Akil might be an option. The problem for Akil, obviously, naturally, will be that Warrican's a left arm, Multi's a left arm. So where...
Oh, and Akil is left. Okay, right.
But where would Akil get in? They can't even find a way to get Akil in the ODI squad, much less. So...
Right.
So
really... Is really Jimbo is the only option we have.
I know, which is what ultimately my conclusion was going to be. Obviously, as usual, everyone will now jump on the facting. But what? Why?
Why?
But what I'm saying is, if people are saying to us that Sinclair is in the team to take wickets because of his off spin, then you have to pick the best off spinner.
Right.
That's why I'm asking what the role is. I'd love to get some role clarity.
Which is why I said to Badgery, I spoke to Badgery the other day. I said, you need to take this as your chance. West Indies need an off spinner. This is it. And I think him and there's another guy. I think he plays for Trinidad. Is it Brian Charles? Him.
Yeah.
And there's another one. You can remember what's his name again? I forget his name, but those two specifically, the two of them need to step up. I think they have a chance this year. I think.
Hold on, you said Badgery off spin. Don't he bowl leg spin?
I'm almost certain it's off, but I could be wrong. But I know he bowls spin for sure. I know he bowls spin.
So I think he's playing for. I think he's playing for CCC this year because Jamaica didn't pick him.
No, CCC is it. So I think they need to take their chance, both of them. You know, so it is what it is, man. We gotta win. We gotta win at least. Many of us said 0 for 0, but you know what? 0 for 10. But we gotta win. I still think we win in New Zealand. But people write this down. Joshua said win in New Zealand. Remember I said, okay, I said it. We're winning in New Zealand. Remember I said, you know how
when you say
so
win,
confident.
do you mean win? When you say win, what do you mean?
Win a game. We're winning a game in New Zealand.
Okay.
We're winning a game in New Zealand.
I'm willing to get behind that argument. I'm willing to get behind that.
Yeah, we're winning a game. I don't know about the series, but I know we're winning a game for sure. Yes. Anyway, Mash, I don't want us to keep it too long. I'll let you go, all right?
All right, then. No worries. Listen, Josh, thank you so much for sticking around till the end. I know it was a very, very long wait. Next time, give me a heads up and I'll send you the link beforehand so you can go on first.
No, but what happened is, I actually came on and somebody decided to ring my phone and knock me off the live. So I have to find out where to jump back in.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I actually was ahead of a few of those people that came on and just knocked me off.
Right.
Can I just make one announcement, Mash? Yes. I did an interview with Dave Cameron. I actually have the interview recorded with Dave Cameron.
Why for that?
No, you see,
no, God.
No. You see, you Mash, you listen to this interview. You see you. No, man, you have a problem in there, Mash. Because you see this interview, my answer everything you talking about, and then you have to say why to yourself. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So wait, so where are you gonna drop it?
Well, I'm trying to figure. So I'm in the middle of trying to figure out how to upload it on the streaming platforms. I don't know how to do it, so I'm trying to figure it out. I have the interview recorded. It's actually on my phone right now. I could send it to you to listen to.
What platform do you want to upload it to?
Like, you know, the usual Apple, Spotify, YouTube, everywhere. I'm trying to get it everywhere so people can go and listen to it.
But have you got a YouTube channel?
I have one. I'm trying to get into it and it won't let me in. So I think I have to create a new one.
Right. Okay. Well,
It's been a long time.
As soon as it's out, let me know and I'll share your thing. Just let me know.
Yeah, man. No problem. Anyway, guys, you take care and be safe.
All right then. No worries, Josh.
Cheers, man.
Okay, right, people. There was just before I go, just a super chat from Anish. Anish says, any chance of West Indies in India? India is not their best. Yeah, I think we'll beat India 2-0. I think we'll sweep India. I suspect we'll win that series against India quite easily. In fact, I'd be shocked if we don't beat India by an innings. Like an innings and 250 runs is what I think we'll do to India. We'll mash them up. Big up. Thank you for the super chat, Anish. Much appreciated. Listen, my eyes are TC those, you know. Lava splash. I need to go to bed, cuss. I need to go to bed. Right, listen, people. I've got to go. I got nothing left to give. I got nothing left to give. I've got work tomorrow. And I am nothing, you know. Right, people, listen. So let me just Jamandi said, go in your bed. You're talking shit. He's right though. Right, listen. Before I go, just last things, people, just in terms of heads up for content that's coming this week. So tomorrow I'm recording a live with Jared Kimber and Beram for Good Areas. So look out for that. I'll put the link up on the socials. So we're doing a live at 6 o'clock looking at the Pakistan series. Wednesday, Fazir is coming on the show. That won't be live. We'll just record it. But look out for the drop. So we're recording that at 10 o'clock, around 10 o'clock UK time on Wednesday. So that should be out, I don't know, probably around midnight on Wednesday. So look out for that. On Thursday, you should see something on the women's series. And then there's some kind of review. I'm going to do a review of the West Indies Championship. But I haven't got all the squads yet, so that's why I haven't done that yet. Doing some stuff with Jared on Cricket 8 on Wednesday as well. So loads of content, people. Just stay locked in, look out for the content, etc., etc. I need to go to my bed. I've got nothing left to give. How long was this live? 3 hours. Bumper ass. Right, okay. See you lot very, very soon. I'll be Machel St. Patrick here on half of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. Thank you and good night.
West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.